Cougar Nation, and welcome back to another Coaches Weekly for this season of Cougar Baseball. I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network, and joining me this week is not your coaches for Cougar Baseball, but three of our players, Brandon Mahler, Anthony Pilato, and Jake Mahler. Guys, thank you for joining us, and how are you doing? How have you been going?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
And it's great to have you guys on. You're coming off of a solid weekend, finished 2-1 in conference, split a doubleheader against Edgewood on senior day, and then finished off a season sweep of Marion just yesterday in an 8-4 win. Coming out of those games, 2-1, solid. You guys 12-6 now in the NAC. You're fourth in the conference, right as you start the final stretch of NAC play. As you go through those games, what's your mentality been at getting through those games and starting up this final stretch of NAC play?
Yeah, I think a big thing for us is just always having the belief over the course of a 9-inning game. I think you even look at the first game of that Marion series, even though it was, doesn't feel like too much of a series. It was about a week ago now, but we were down 7-8-0, in the first 3 or 4 innings. And obviously we came back to kind of win a shootout, but the reason that comeback happens is because of the inherent belief in our dugout that we're never out of it and we're never going to go away. And I think that belief was there game 1 against Edgewood. I think all we needed was kind of a few more zeros or a few more key plays defensively to sort of keep us in that one. But I think it was still there, and we felt that belief. And I think it showed in the next game for us to be able to kind of flush the first one and go into game 2 and pull out another comeback. I think it's really becoming a pretty consistent theme of the team this year is sort of these late game comebacks, winning close games, kind of dragging teams into a close game. I think that's kind of been one of our biggest things that we not only noticed in these last 3 or 4 games, but the whole season. So,
on top of that, I think the biggest thing about our team is our resilience. We've been down 5, 6, 7, 8 runs really early in games, and a lot of teams will lay over and just be like, we'll take the next game or, go into the next day, but not the cardiac Cougs is what we call ourselves. So it's been nice to watch a team just fight back for 7, 8 innings and, come back and come on top.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. Like when you prove in a couple games, like a lot this year that we've come back from a lot of games, it's those games that we're down, it's just like no one wavers. Like everyone's like, all right, we still got plenty of time. Even if we got like 3 innings left, like, all right, we can still do this. We've proven that. Like St. Norbert, obviously Marion, like all these games, like we're just never going to go away, and that's going to be a consistent theme for the rest of the year as well.
Yeah, and then you guys mentioned coming back, the big one from this last week, that game 2 against Edgewood, a 9-8 walk-off win. Jake, you had the walk-off hit in that game, and over the last 2 games, you've seen a lot of big performances from you guys, and I kind of want to go beyond this last week. You guys in your last season with the Cougars, looking back on all of your time here, what are some of your best memories, your favorite parts of playing for Cougar baseball?
I think I have a different answer than most. Playing here for 4 years, my best memories are not baseball. I preach this to all the guys, especially the younger guys or new guys. You're going to take for granted when you graduate the amount of time you're going to spend with the guys in the dugout, off the field. And it's special. A lot of guys I know for certain on this team that are seniors can confidently say that they made one of their most long impressions with the guys you play in the field. I can confidently say that at least 3 to 4 to 5 guys are going to be standing in my wedding. So it's like some of those memories off the field, not even baseball related, are probably the ones that are going to stick with me the most, and the things that I'll probably remember when I'm stuck in a cubicle in about 3 months. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, was just off the field memories with the guys.
yeah, it takes me back to there's a video of a Boston College basketball player after a March Madness elimination, and the reporter asked him what was his favorite memory of his 4 years in Boston College basketball, and he's like super tearful, looks out at the camera, and he just says, going out to eat. And I didn't really understand it when I saw it in high school, even early college, but now I'm getting to the tail end of my career, and it's like going out to eat with the guys one more time, or one more dinner in the caf, one more early morning lift. It's like those are the memories that truly kind of built the wins on the field. I think for us, a lot of the work we did to win the games, everybody else sees we're done sort of in private with the 30 to 40 of us. A lot of those defining memories are stuff that didn't even happen between the white lines. I think that's a pretty cool thing to see how important something off the field, can relate to your on-field success.
Yeah, I would say, literally the same thing. One of the memories that sticks out from this year that off the field was when we were down in Texas after the Game 2 win, when we all got back on the bus. It's really late. The boys are listening to Choosing Texas on the bus, and we're all just having a good time, singing, vibing. That was honestly one of the coolest memories I've had, and that just cements the off the field stuff. Like they all said, everything that happens on the field is really cool, but the stuff that's gonna stick and everything that we're gonna remember and talk about a couple years down the road when we all reconnect and everything is everything that happened off the field. And I think that's just a testament to this group and the groups we've been with the past 4 or 5 years. Is just we're so close and bonded together, and anytime we have a chance to do something on or off the field together, we're gonna take that chance because we don't want to waste these 4 to 5 years that we have together. This is a very special place. I know a lot of people will say that as a cliche, but it is really true. This is a truly special thing that we have going on, and the off the field stuff are just icing on the cake with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And moving off of that to more the business side of things for baseball. Looking back on this last stretch, headed into the final stretch of the NAC, we got you guys from both sides of the field. We got our offense and we got our pitchers here. So we'll start with the offense. Brandon, Jake, looking at the offense, the two of you guys, you've been the offense engine of one of the most explosive, if not the most explosive offense in the conference this season. Going into this final stretch of conference play, you've got 3 conference doubleheaders left. What are some things that you like what the offense has been doing, you want to keep doing for the rest of the season, and some things that you guys want to work on?
I think, like you said earlier, we're in a really good spot in conference, 12-6. I think with the offense, if we're on, we're on, and it's scary. It's hard to get to be a team that can bat around 15 hits and 13 runs like it's nothing. So I think the biggest thing for us as an offense, 1 through 9, and even the guys that come off the bench were really good at bats. I think the biggest thing is execution. I think that's one thing that has been said here a couple times when we're talking about the offense, especially during the Coaches Weekly. But I think that's where we struggled a little bit this past week. Even though we had a really good stretch, I think we could have put up at least another 10 runs on teams that shouldn't deserve to be in a game. So I think the biggest thing for us is just moving guys over, moving the line across, flipping over the lineup, and then executing when we need to execute. And it would make the game that much easier, take the pressure off, and we're going to be in a really good spot come these next 6 games in the conference tournament.
Yeah, I mean, something to add to that too is when we get a lead early, especially against some of the teams that we know are we are better than, just don't let them hang around. When we get that 4 or 5 run lead, let's make that 10, 12, 15. Let's just make it a 7-inning game and get out of there. Because we know what our offense is capable of. We could put up, like he said, we could put up 15, 20 runs on any given day. Now it's just about staying consistent with that, not getting complacent with an early lead. Let's just try to bury them and just get on to the next game or just go home if we get a single game.
Yeah. And switching over to the pitching side of things, Anthony, we've seen a lot of good performances out of the pitching lately, especially the bullpen. The bullpen has been putting a lot of good performances, and that's the same part of the pitching staff you're coming out of. So same question for you pretty much, headed into this final stretch, looking at the last stretch of games, what's the pitching staff been doing well that you want to keep going on, and what are some things you guys want to see the guys work on?
Yeah, I think, especially touching on the bullpen, I think recently in a few pitchers meetings we've talked about sort of kind of bringing back the night shift term that we've had around in the past few years. And I think there's a certain camaraderie and confidence that is necessary out of the bullpen group for their success. And I think the confidence wavered a little bit, especially in the non-conference games in Florida and Texas to start the year. And I think once we've kind of been getting through this stretch of conference play, we've kind of started to get a little bit of that confidence back, especially in the locker room within our talks as the pitching staff. I think the biggest thing, though, practically, we just have to be better about is throwing strike one. I think the best pitch in baseball is strike one, and I think that rings about as true as possible to our staff right now in the sense of let's just win that 0-0 count 80% of the time and see where it gets us. I think when it comes down to finding reasons for lack of success or things like that, we've given it the whole runaround at this point. And I think the biggest thing we can harken back to is just winning that 0-0 count and throwing strike one. And I think that's kind of at the forefront of a lot of our arms minds right now, especially the bullpen arms. So yeah, that's definitely a point of emphasis going forward. So
yeah, for sure. And we'll get to see you guys kind of like put that in action starting tomorrow, actually. In the next week, you guys kicking it off with a non-con tune-up against North Central right here in River Forest tomorrow. Followed that up with a road trip up to Wisconsin Lutheran this Saturday for a doubleheader against the Warriors. And then a home doubleheader this next Tuesday against the MSOE Raiders, who current team at the top of the conference solidly right now. So a lot of big series coming up. And on top of that, your final 3 home games as Cougars are in that stretch. So going into this next week of games, these 5 games, what's your mentality at? What's the approach for both finishing off solidly in NAC play, preparing for the NAC tournament, but also finishing out your time in the Thunderdome?
I think we can't let the last 5 or 6 games like really build pressure. I think what we need to think about is like it's just any other game. We got to do what we have to do and just get out of there with a win, however that may be. Whether it's a 4-2 game or a 17-14 game, it just has to, we got to put it all together and not let the pressure build up, and just do what we know we can do, put everything together, and we're gonna hopefully come out of the next 6 games with momentum into the conference tournament.
Yeah, I think right now a lot of teams get tight and a lot of teams start pressing and the games start meaning a little bit more, like you touched on. And I think for us, a big message we're going to sort of push from the captain side of things is like this should be time to stay loose. It should be time to get hot, to start kind of getting your best swings off, throwing your best pitches, like starting to feeling the most confident about yourself as an individual player going into the conference tournament. Because at the end of the day, all we need to do is be the best team in the conference for one weekend, and we put ourselves in a pretty good spot. And I think these next 2 doubleheaders in conference especially are going to tell us a lot about who we are, because you see a team like WLC who hasn't had the best year, and you see a team like MSOE who's been pretty hot recently. And I think for us, at least from what I've noticed this year, we drag a lot of teams in the close games. Good teams, not so good teams. And I think for us, we're facing the entire spectrum of the NAC within about, 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So we're going to be seeing a lot of different brands of baseball. And I think for us, it's about playing our brand of baseball regardless of who's across in the other dugout. I think we are more than capable of going 4-0 in those 4 games. I just think it's about playing Cougar baseball and not trying to combat WLC's approach or combat MSOE's approach. It's just about putting our brand of baseball out on the field and executing it to perfection, and we should be just fine.
We've put ourselves in a really good spot recently. Obviously, 12-6 in conference, nothing to complain about there. Always could be better, but 12-6 is very good so far. We've been riding the momentum. It's been getting better and better every day, and I think at the end of the day for us, it's just continuing to stack days and just continue to get better, continue to play Cougar baseball like he said, and we're going to be just fine. Because at the end of the day, once it gets to the conference tournament, like he said, the best team that weekend, obviously it could be anybody. So as long as we continue to get better, continue to put ourselves in good spots, we're going to be just fine.
Absolutely. Like we mentioned, you guys will get to start putting that in action tomorrow at home against North Central, your final non-conference game of the season. That'll be live right here on the Cougar Sports Network. Guys, thank you once again for joining us, and best of luck as your season finishes.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for tuning in for another Cougars Baseball Coaches Weekly. Like we mentioned, Cougars back in action tomorrow against North Central at home. That'll be at 3 o'clock right here on the Cougar Sports Network. They'll follow that up with a trip up to Wisconsin Lutheran to take on the Warriors in a conference doubleheader starting at noon before they come back home to River Forest to take on the MSOE Raiders in another conference doubleheader. That series starting at noon as well. That'll be live right here on the Cougar Sports Network. You can get caught up on everything you've missed at cucougars.com and get prepped up on what's to come. Once again, I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network. Thank you for joining us, and as always, Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome back to River Forest and the Cougar Sports Network for some Wednesday action. Cougars hosting the visiting North Central Cardinals in both teams' final non-con tune-up of the season. Cougars and Cardinals into the final stretch of the conference season. North Central headed into, actually, final stretch of their NAC non-con and the CCIW. That first hit grounded to Sperando at second base. He gets it over to Linko for out number one. So Yuki Yamada grounds out to start the day for North Central. And with one out, that'll bring up to the plate
the center fielder, number 4,
Luke Wallace. I'm Jonathan Shear on the Cougar Sports Network. Joining me today is Sam Smith. Sam, non-con game, both of these teams looking to make it into their conference tournaments. The Cougars trying to finish up high in the NAC. For the Cougars, what can you get out of today?
Yeah, you're going to get high-flying offense. You got the Mahler brothers. They both have 13 home runs, up there with the most in the NAC. And I'm just expecting some fireworks on offense from both of these teams. It's a nice day out. It's around 70 degrees. A little windy, wind pushing back today, which is rare in the Thunderdome. But, yeah, I'm expecting high-powered offenses today.
So, with it being a non-conference game, what can you kind of get out of a non-conference game that at the end of the day doesn't matter for your schedule at the end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a big confidence builder playing a team, just like knowing that you could beat anybody, both of these teams. If you want to get a win here and, like, maybe experiment a little bit. Like the Cougars today, they're planning on doing a bullpen day, and I kind of like that out of head coach Matt Smith, just trying different things. The pitching has been struggling all year, and just kind of seeing what you can do against this high-powered North Central offense.
So 2 down, Luke Wallace grounds out 6-3, and Dylan Scott on the mound for the Cougars for inning number 1. There's the first called strike. Up until then, no called strikes, no whiffs, no foul balls. Able to get both batters to ground out. He gets Jackson Bland on the strike up in the top corner, and that one fired just a bit outside.
Yeah, it's a really encouraging start for Dylan Scott. Dylan Scott not had the greatest year. He's got an ERA just over 11, and the problem with him, he has more walks than strikeouts. So it's really just about finding the zone, and he's been doing that so far. 2 quick outs to start the game.
And a lot of that ERA, his last start is coming back 8 days ago. Started game 2 against Illinois Tech, gave up 5 runs in the first inning. And I mean, you hit it right on the head. His biggest struggle this year has been finding the zone. The 3-1 pitch. That's inside. So Bland goes from 0-1, keeps the bat on the shoulder, takes the next 4. He heads to first, and that puts a man on for Parker Wyatt, the right fielder.
Yeah, and like we were just saying, the control. That's 4 straight balls in that at bat, and that 4th ball a little close to the zone, but just called a ball.
Scott fires on Wyatt. That's lifted up into short center. Sperando calling for it, and he makes a play going down to a knee as he's able to fight the sun and make the 3rd out. 4 up, 3 down for Dylan Scott. He keeps the Cardinals scoreless in the first, and that'll bring us to the bottom of the first inning as the Cougars offense gets ready to head out onto the field. And we'll take you through that Cougars starting lineup right now. Leading off today for Concordia is Cam Buckley, your leadoff man all season long. Rounding out 2 through 4, it's that top of the order the Cougars have stuck with in the last month or so. Brendan Holloway, and then the Mahler brothers, Jake and Brandon, batting 3 and 4 respectively. Following them up, Xavier Zagerman batting 5th. Dom Owens starting at catcher and batting 6th. Jack Linko batting 7th. Jeffrey Becker, he's worked his way back into the lineup in the last week. He's batting 8th ahead of Richie Sperando, batting 9th today for the Cougars. On the mound for CUC, like we saw in inning number 1, Dylan Scott, and that's already Dylan Scott's day done, as it's going to be a bullpen day for the Cougars. On the mound for the Cardinals is Eli Hammond, and Hammond, Sam, has had an incredible year.
Yeah, Eli Hammond, great start to the season, or not start because we're near the end of the season, but great year. ERA just above 2.5, and yeah, just really solid season. And if you can limit this Cougar offense, especially early in the game, you know you're going to score runs if you're North Central, but like I said, looking for a big start. from him for the Cardinals today.
And like you mentioned, Cougars, we're getting a bullpen game today. It's going to be the same for the Cardinals. This is the first start that Hammond's made all year. Does have a little bit of distance in him. He's gone 20 2/3 through 13 innings in relief for this Cardinal squad. So good performances out of Hammond. We'll be sure to see a lot of other arms from their pen today.
Yeah, Hammond, the senior, out of Winchester, Kentucky. Lengthiest appearances here, 4 innings, but sometimes you just want to get that 0 on the board, especially against this blazing hot top of the lineup for the Cougars.
Yeah.
Leading off for the
So
Cougars,
Cam Buckley stepping up to the
center
plate.
fielder,
Cougars
number 23,
in the yellows today.
Buckley.
As Hammond gets the pitch call and steps on to the rubber. Buckley into the box and takes that first pitch outside. Ball 1 to start the day for Hammond. Buckley had a bit of a tough doubleheader against Edgewood back this last Saturday. Picked up a double against Marion on Monday.
Yeah, Buckley's been terrific all season, but recently struggles. Want to see him get back to his normal ways. He's a guy who loves to get on base, loves to steal, and he's got a little bit of pop in that bat as well. He's been their guy in the leadoff spot all season long.
2-0 count to start the at-bat. Hammond able to drop that one in the bucket for strike 1. He gets on the board.
Yeah, Buckley, a guy who likes to be aggressive in counts at times, but he can also get on base and walk, and it's dangerous to give Cam Buckley a walk. He's such a threat on the base paths.
The 2-1. Buckley, hot shot up the middle, and that will be snagged by Yamada over to first. Not in time. As it bounces off the Cougars dugout, it'll keep Buckley at first, but he beats the throw to put the leadoff man on for Brendan Holloway.
Yeah, good stop there from Yama, but even if that throw was on line, Buckley's most likely beating that out. And here's a guy, Brendan Holloway. He's been swinging a hot bat recently.
That was a nice play from Yamada just to keep it in the infield. So, yeah, you mentioned it. Brendan Holloway, he has been swinging it very well as of late. He's worked that season batting average all the way up. There's one over at second. Holloway beats out the throw at first, so fielder's choice. They take down the leadoff runner. As Buckley gets informed that he's out, he heads back to the dugout. Nice play over at third.
Yeah, not too hard a hit of a ball, but
Third baseman, number 5, Jake
third baseman Smith up there with those quick hands throwing it over to second. And Holloway, not as fast as Buckley, but he is a guy that can steal.
So up to the plate, like you mentioned, Jake Mahler. Mahler, the hottest bat on this Cougars squad as of late.
I mean, pick your poison between Jake and Brandon. Seems like they flip back and forth with who's leading the team in home runs. Knack in home runs.
And Mahler going to float that into right field for a base hit. Holloway putting it into gear around second. He'll hold up. And the knock puts runners at first and second for Brandon Mahler. And we mentioned Jake, the hottest hitter in the lineup. Brandon, he hasn't been struggling as of late. Picked up one of the Cougars' 2 home runs on Monday against Marion. As he steps into the box.
Yeah, and this is what you want here if you're the Cougs. 2 on for Brandon Mahler. Leading the Knack in on base plus slugging this season. Just a dream senior season this year for the Brandon brother.
That first pitch fouled off, sets the count at 0-1.
Yeah, Hammond with that 2.6 ERA, but he does allow a lot of base runners with that whip at 1.45 this season.
Fired in just off the bottom corner, sets the count at 1-1.
Yeah, it's a big pitch here. You do not want to go down in the count against Brandon Mahler. 2-1 and 1-2 here. Can't stress enough. Huge difference.
The 1-1 floated up into short center field. Charging onto it is Wallace, and he's able to make the play for out number 2. That was a great jump from Luke Wallace to get there comfortably.
Yeah, especially with the wind coming in. Nice play there.
The right fielder, number 16, Xavier.
That brings Xavier Zagerman up to the plate for the Cougs. Zagerman settling into that starting right field slot all season long. Hammond fires. That's inside for ball one on Zagerman.
Yeah, Zagerman, a guy, batting average only at 213, but he has some pop in that bat, and he can get on base when he needs to. 18 walks on the season, just below Brandon Mahler for the team lead.
1-0 pitch. Taken low for ball two. Zagerman, one of those many Cougars to pick up an extra base hit on Monday against Marion. Had a double in that game. The 2-0 is going to be lifted up and foul. Makes the count 2-1. Like you mentioned, Zagerman, he gets on base a lot with those walks. Maybe his strongest trait is his speed on the base paths. And that's something the Cougars do get a lot of out of their guys. Brendan Holloway over at second. A bit of a troublesome presence on the bags for pitchers. Zagerman, another one of those guys, as he swings high for strike two. Evens out the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on. In the bottom of the first, Hammond trying to get out of it with no damage. Fires. And that's going to be lifted over towards first base. Tracking it back is Diaz coming into foul territory and making the grab on the fence. Peyton Diaz ends the inning. That's out number 3. We head to the top of the first. We're all even at 0. Cardinals coming up to bat.
The inning, no runs. The left fielder.
And we're back, top of the second in the Thunderdome. Blake Hickey now on the mound for the Cougs, and stepping up to the plate to lead things off for the Cardinals is Caleb Coberly. Hickey, the second of the 9 pitchers we'll see today for Concordia.
Yeah, Blake Hickey, senior out of Chicago, 4.15 ERA on the season, 17 innings across 14 appearances. So another one of those relief guys in this pitching chaos game that we got going on for the Cougars today.
Coberly.
It's all about just going in and getting the job done today. for the Cougars.
1-1 count to start the at-bat on Coberly.
Yeah, Dylan Scott last inning. He did his job.
Coberly going to lift that foul. That'll get blown way out of play. We talked about it yesterday with Anthony Polano, one of those arms in the bullpen for CUC. The goal, I mean, it's a goal always. It's one of the biggest things you'll hear for a pitcher. The most important pitch of the at-bat is pitch number 1. You want to start the count 0-1. You want to fire it in the zone. It's a point of emphasis right now for this Cougars pitching staff because it's been really the number 1 struggle for the Cougs coming onto the mound for most of this season, getting behind in counts, walking people, loading up the bases.
Yeah. And then you just put yourself in pressure situations.
2-2 count on Coberly. Fired way outside, it'll fill things up. The other thing with it is if you're going to walk a lot of guys, you got to be perfect in every other part of the game.
Exactly.
And what we kind of saw, we did see it crop up against Edgewood back on Saturday, the Cougars, you're getting a lot of guys on base, you're walking. That's fine if you're playing good defense. But if you start to walk guys, those errors, those start to have more consequences.
Absolutely.
You're going to give those guys free bases. You're going to allow in runs. Even if it's, not an error, but just not great defense, you got to be perfect if you have those guys who've gotten walked all the way over to third, which is, we've seen that crop up with the Cougars. It killed them in game 1 against Edgewood.
Yeah, 100%. And routine plays with runners on scoring position or runners on base, multiple runners on base, they don't become as routine as they were before. And not just more pressure on the pitcher with runners in scoring position or just runners on base in general, but more pressure on the defense like you were talking about.
Coberly going to lift that to center, getting blown into left center. Buckley tracking over. Holloway comes in to make the grab. And, Sam, that's probably the best look we've had at what that wind's going to be doing today.
Yeah, really just curved over, looked like Buckley's ball the way, but Holloway coming in, making the play, kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, that ball got blown all the way, started going straight away, got blown all the way to the left of the 360 marker.
And that's a big out. Caleb Coberly has been one of their best hitters, leading the team with a 402 batting average. Not a lot of pop in his bat, only 3 home runs, but that's a huge out, huge first out.
So now it's Peyton Diaz up to plate, shows butt, pulls back, takes it high, ball 1.
And when we talk about pressure, not just getting that first strike, getting that first out.
Mm-hmm.
You get that out of the way, and everything just becomes a lot easier with 1 out. It's the simple things.
Diaz on the season batting .349. OPS nearly at a full round 1,000, 982. He gets on base, and he's got slug to come with it.
Yeah, it seems to be a theme with this with this North Central team. They have a high-powered offense, but Cougars limiting them right now. No barrels so far. A lot of balls put in play, but that Cougar defense.
The 2-0 to Diaz. That catches the outside corner. Makes it 2-1. On deck, you got Ryan Husky. He's guaranteed to come up to bat this inning. In the hole, you got Medina if it gets there. The 2-1. That's high, makes it 3-1. That's lifted into center. Buckley, easy play. And straight away for out number 2.
And that's just perfect. That's what you want. You don't need any strikeouts, and out's an out, especially with nobody on base.
Batting 7th, the designated hitter, number 22,
So what's been a
Ryan Husky.
consistent, strong start of the game for the Cougars pitching staff continues. Looking to close out the second. 3 up, 3 down. Hickey will be taking on Ryan Husky, the designated hitter. Husky, a limited sample size this season, only 33 at-bats. He's drawn 6 walks. He's struck out 11 times. Has picked up a pair of homers in his time at the plate. 0-1 count on Husky. Hickey kicks and fires. That's off the plate, evens things up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, limited sample size for Husky this season. You can imagine that maybe in this non-conference action, you want to throw him in, see if he can do any damage.
The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Husky way out ahead of him. You can kind of see he just kind of let that bat drop through the zone once he realized he wasn't going to get there.
Yeah, and that's just a great pitch. North Central really aggressive so far on offense. And that's working for the Cougars.
The 1-2. Hickey kicks and fires. Just off the plate.
Yeah, that's a competitive pitch, though. You don't hate that in a 1-2 count. Now you got to dial back.
Yeah, and coming with North Central being more aggressive at the plate, we've seen the Cougars pitchers be more aggressive on the mound as well. Starting back from that series against Edgewood, attacking the zone more, going after batters, forcing them to swing the bat.
Yeah, and the difference is in a game like this, when you're going to throw a pitcher, most likely a new pitcher every single inning, you cannot get a rhythm if you're North Central. You're not like your leadoff hitter from North Central. You can't go against Dylan Scott again because he's out of the game. You got to go up against somebody new.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He gets Husky going. 3 up, 3 down for Hickey. So we head to the bottom of the second, still tied up. Cougars looking to get on the board first when we come back.
Sixth and leading off the bottom of the second.
And we're back, bottom of the second, still even at 0-0. Cougars stranded 2 in the bottom of the first, looking to get things going. In the bottom of the second is Dom Owens leading things off with Elijah Hammond still on the mound. Hammond fires. Owens. Oh, he's going to lift that into left center, and that is going to be caught by Yamana, able to track it into the outfield, make the play. 1 pitch, 1 out, and that'll bring Jack Linko up to the plate. Linko been getting hotter and hotter throughout the season. Picked up a solo homer late to give the Cougars some distance against Marion on Monday.
Yeah, and Linko has just been terrific this season. Kind of surprised bad. He pitches a little bit too. At OPS over 1,000. Just been an outstanding season for Linko.
Yeah, it takes that one low for ball 1.
Yeah, batting .371 on the season as well. And when he gets a hold of one, expect some balls in Division Street if he can get a hold of one.
1-0 pitch. Grounded at the mound. Hammond grabs it. And he's going to jog all the way over to first himself for out number 2. Wasn't really ever in danger of not making the play. but still, you don't usually see guys take it all the way over to the bag themselves if you've already got the man at first.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm not saying it was a dumb play from Hammond. Just you don't see it that often.
I can just imagine Elijah Hammond disliking tweets that say pitchers aren't athletes.
2 outs. Jeffrey Beckert up to the plate, grounding that over to third, snagging it. Smith over to first.
Wow.
3 up, 3 down, real quick for Elijah Hammond. We head to the top of the third. It's still scoreless in River Forest. Top of the third, still scoreless. North Central looking to get things going on offense. They've had one base runner all day. And on the mound to start the top of the third for the Cougs, Dylan Ferraro making his first appearance in 4 weeks.
Yeah, and Ferraro, not a great season this year. 18 ERA, 12 innings, but not a large sample. And for a lot of these Cougar pitchers, he walks more hitters than he strikes out. I'm curious to see if he can control the plate, and all it takes is one good outing to get your season back on track. And like we've been talking about, in this non-conference action, you just want to see like if you can find any hidden gems. So this is a chance for Ferraro to turn that season upside down and have a good outing, and who knows, maybe he could be a big part of the team later on in the season.
2-1 pitch off the plate, 3-1 on Medina. Andre Medina on the year has been hitting that 268, getting on base around 414. Takes that one in there for a strike. It fills things up at 3-2.
Yeah, it seems like just about everybody on this North Central team can walk.
Here's the full count. And that's easily outside. Easy take for Medina. He heads over to first. And the leadoff man on for the first time today.
Yeah, North Central, 175 walks on the season. That is top 3 in their conference. And along with slugging, they have discipline. And that's why this offense is so scary and high-powered. But Cougars limiting them so far. But there's a leadoff walk, and it's always a bad sign for a pitching staff. But let's see if Ferraro can turn it upside down.
Brings Caleb Smith up to the plate. His first pitch to Smith's off the plate for a ball. One-0 count on Smith. Make it 2-0. That one's easily inside. The 2-0 from Ferraro. Ooh, that's even further inside, buzzing the tower. And it makes it a 3-0 count. Ultimate hitters count for Smith. He'll probably be keeping the bat on the shoulder. Ferraro kicks and fires. Ball 4. 4-pitch walk. Ferraro puts the first 2 on base, and that's going to leave him at first and second. Head back to the top of the order. Yuki Yamada coming back up to the plate.
Yeah, this is big here for Ferraro.
Shortstop number
Like we talked about, it's been the control issues all year that brings his walk total 18 walks to 6 strikeouts, and top of the order, this dangerous top of the order for North Central. Want to at least get an out here. Double play would be huge for the Cougars, but just want to start by getting that first out.
That's first pitch fired high. Sam, ask Cougars, have you ever watched, or even just watched some games at Bluebell Stadium down at Texas A&M?
I have not. I'm not really big. Not really big into Division I baseball. I heard it's awesome, and I need to tune in a little bit more, but I've not.
One of the big things Bluebell does, you'll see this comes around on Reels. It was about a month ago when everyone around the country, oh, it's such a cool tradition that college gets up to. Down in College Station, you get on the chant. Visiting pitchers throwing a bunch of balls. You hit them with the ball 5 chant.
Yeah, dive.
You hit them with the ball 6 chant. A&M was really one of the first colleges that really made that as a big thing. Ferraro would have gotten hit with one there. That's floated into right field from Yamada, coming in to make the play as Zagerman for out number 1.
And I have seen that before. If this is Wrigley Field in a playoff game, they'll start chanting the opposing pitcher's name over and over again.
Luke Wallace.
Luckily for the Cougs, they are at home.
Yeah.
In the Thunderdome.
They
And
shouldn't be having to deal with any of that.
Yeah, and you get the out on Yamada. You start to get your inning back on track. You got Luke Wallace up to the plate. Wallace grounded out to short his first time up today. He takes that first pitch down and low for ball 1.
And if you're Ferraro here, you just want to limit the damage here. You know that you can trust your offense to score.
The 1-0. That's fired up high. Strike 1. So after a rough stretch, Ferraro starting to get things back on track. Even count on Wallace. It's off the plate. 2-1. We were kind of talking about this during one of our breaks, Sam. This game is feels like a big change of pace for what we've seen lately from the Cougars.
100%. Not very high scoring, and it's not a super cold day or anything, but don't want to jinx anything. I feel like every single time I'm in this booth, I always have some ridiculous jinx. But this is looking to shape up for a big inning for North Central. Bases loaded here, and if you're Ferraro here, you would trade an out for a run here. You just want to limit the damage and base load here.
Yeah, it's just been a quiet game so far on both sides. North Central starting to try and put some noise into that as we get our first mound visit of the day. Coming up to the plate will be Jackson Bland, and Bland probably the last guy you want up to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Yeah, Bland, 685 slug on the season, and I'm curious. North Central seems a lot more patient in this inning than they were in the first 2. Obviously, with the walks, maybe it's because they know about Ferrero's control issues, and they haven't squared up a ball. So I'd imagine here that since it's your guy with the 685 slugging in Jackson Bland, you can imagine him swinging the bat here, but patient approach there, 1-0 count.
Yeah, and part of that's going to be your scouting report. Cougars, the guys who have been coming out of the bullpen out of late, they've been great. The guys who haven't, Ferraro included amongst them, you don't really know how they've been hurling it lately. And like you mentioned, coming up to that, his last appearance at the end of March, Ferraro, he walks a lot of guys. He struggles to find the zone. You got a little bit scouting report. You see, okay, our guys aren't making contact very well so far today. We got a guy who throws a lot of balls. Let's just keep it on the shoulder and see if it works out. And so far it is. You got a 2-1 count on Bland.
Especially with the wind coming in, I think the more passive approach here is the way to go. Now it doesn't mean don't go up there and not look for a pitch to rip, but if you're Jackson Bland here, you got to imagine he's gonna make sure it's D1.
2-1 on the way from Ferraro. That's popped up past the shortstop. Becker tracking. That gets blown all the way over to Ferraro. They're tagging up from third, and they go. Medina, I don't know if the coach was in his ear telling him to go. I mean, he tracks back. He's back easily safe. As Mahler's not able to get over to cover him off. That was
Yeah, you sounded as surprised as Holloway looked.
you are. That was maybe, I don't know, 40 feet into left field.
Yeah.
You are not going to beat out a throw, even if you're like Pete Crow Armstrong. You're not beating that throw home. And then Ferraro goes right after Wyatt, gassing that one in for strike one.
Yeah, once again, just not good contact in that last at-bat. And Wyatt here, even higher slugging percentage than Jackson Bland, 752 slug this year, 8 home runs on the season, 17 doubles. That leads the team. You want to avoid giving up a gapper here. 2 outs here. Where Ferraro can prove something here.
Ooh, that's low. 2-1 count on Wyatt.
And once again, you're behind in the count, but you don't want to give him something. That's the tricky part of just pitching in general.
The 2-1 pitch. That's grounded foul over to third.
Yeah, you got on top of that. Didn't look like a bad pitch to hit, but now you're right back in the count for Ferraro. 2-2 count. Really throw anything at him here. Just don't want to make a mistake over the plate.
Yeah, listening, it's felt better for North Central. All those base runners walked on. They've drawn 4 walks today.
Yeah.
But they just haven't been able to do anything with it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases juiced. Just off the plate. That'll fill it up.
That was awfully close. I don't know how much Dom Owens behind the plate liked that call either. But
ABS not in Division III yet. The payoff pitch on the way. Swing and a miss! Dylan Ferraro gets Wyatt going. That's out number 3. Ferraro gets himself in a pickle. He fishes out of it himself. We head to the bottom of the third. Cougars still haven't allowed a hit. They'll look to get some hits themselves when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. Bottom of the third here in River Forest. Cougars back up to bat. Richie Sperando leading things off for the Cougs. Cougars stranded 2 in the first. Went 3 up, 3 down in the second. And it's a new man on the mound in the bottom of the third for North Central, Brian Cudd, the freshman out of Lombard, making his first appearance today.
yeah, and Brian Cudd, 4.35 ERA on the season. 11 strikeouts in 10 and a third innings. 8 walks on the season, so it's really control and power for Cud. Likes to strike out batters, and in the few innings he's gotten this year. And I'm kind of surprised that Elijah Hammond, after that 4-pitch inning, relieved this early in the game.
Sprando flies that into right. Coming onto it is Wyatt to make the play for out number 1. That brings us back to the top of the order. Cam Buckley coming up to the plate for the Cougs.
Yeah, and you'd have to imagine that before the game, it was planned that Hammond would be throwing 2, and that's it, despite the 4-pitch inning. And not dominance, but the strong first 2 innings that he had. Gave a few base runners in the first inning, but see if Buckley can get something going here for this quiet start to the game on offense.
Cam led off the game with a single up the middle. He takes that first pitch high and out for ball 1.
Yeah, and it really just feels like at this top of the lineup, Buckley or Holloway, especially Holloway as of recently, one of them is going to get on for one of the Mahler bros.
The 1-0 pitch. High and out again. Ball 2. Buckley hitting .338 on the year coming into today, slugging over 500. He's another one of those guys. He's a threat on the base paths if he can get on.
Absolutely.
He's been doing so at a good rate this year, around 450. He takes that one high and out again for ball 3. And sometimes you'll see pitchers, send it high and out, get pitchers looking out there so they get a bit more caught off guard when you fire inside. You fire out high and out 3 pitches in a row. That kind of tells you the pitchers, they don't got that command on the outside of the plate to start.
And like we talked about, Cud strikes out a lot of guys, but
Cud just can't bring it in.
And with those 11 strikeouts, 8 walks, and that's not horrible, but it's not where you want to limit those walks a little bit. And 4-pitch walk there to Buckley, just nowhere near.
That's a slightly concerning at bat for Brian Cud.
Yeah.
Just nowhere near the zone and missing in the exact same spot. All 4 pitches. Buckley never even attempted to swing.
Yeah, and if you're Holloway here, you gotta keep that in the back of your mind that this guy just threw 4 balls non-competitive in a row.
You're going to have a different at-bat, Holloway, a right-handed batter. All 4 of those pitches would have hit Brendan if he was at the plate in that last at-bat.
Yeah.
But he takes that first pitch low for ball 1, so we got a little chant going on for Brian Cud now. 5 straight balls for the freshman. The 1-0 pitch. That time he's able to catch the bottom of the zone, even things up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, he's out of Aggie land, if we'll describe that. And now you're Holloway, you just got to lock back in here. He threw the strike and back to that normal approach. You want to get Buckley over in a scoring position at least for your 2 hottest hitters.
Holloway over Yamada into left field. That's down. Buckley hot on his way around second. He's going for third. Throw in. Won't go to third. Holloway goes ahead and just snags second. Willie's at it. Brendan Holloway staying hot, putting it in play, picking up 2.
Yeah, Holloway just always puts the ball in play, it seems like, and that's a nice hit ball right into the gap, and now you got 2 on. I was saying you can get Buckley over in the scoring position. That's great. Now you got 2 in scoring position for Mahler, for
Honestly,
Jake Mahler.
Love the aggression on the base running there from
Absolutely.
Holloway, not even hesitating.
Yeah.
Round first. That was a standing double on a ball that didn't even get past the line of outfielders.
Yeah. And you can imagine that wind pushed the ball in a little bit. It looked good off the bat. But then again, Holloway just aggressive on the base pass. Same with Buckley going to third, first to third right away. And this is what you want.
First pitch to Jake Mahler, dropping in high for a strike. Yeah. And then the next pitch, high and in for a ball.
Yeah, Cud really all over the place so far.
That's kind of a big difference we've seen between Cud and Hammond. Hammond had no trouble filling up the zone. Cud, either he's in the zone or he's off by more than an inch. Let's just say that. 1-1 count on Mahler. Swing and a miss. He gets Mahler going high.
Yeah, that was a rip right there from Mahler. He wants to send one on to Division Street.
And with where the wind's blowing, you could get one going out to left field. 1-2 count. Cud fires that into the dirt, evens things up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, and if either of these Mahler bros, if they get a hold of one, I don't think the win really much will affect it that much.
Yeah, you got Brandon Mahler on deck. You have 2 outs remaining. Open bag at first for Cud.
Yeah, and that's also huge with Holloway going to second. No force. And do you really want to leave the bases juice for Brandon Mahler?
It's a risk for Brian Cud right now. That one way off the plate fills it up at 3-2.
Just such a luxury to have both of these guys.
Here comes the full count. Payoff pitch on the way. And Mahler fouls that back into the bleachers. He'll stay alive.
Yeah, I don't think Mahler is interested in walking in this at bat. He wants to swing.
I think there's a little bit of comfort with Cud with the way he's been pitching, knowing that if it's going to be towards the zone, it's going to be in the zone. You don't got to worry about pitches.
Yeah,
They're going to be right on the edge, at least from what we've seen in Cud this inning. The full count again. Ho-ho! Mahler gets a hold of it, but it's about 90 degrees too far to the left.
Yeah, a little up and in there from Cud. And not close to the zone. You can imagine that would be ball 4 if Mahler took, but I don't hate this aggressive approach here. You want to bring anything in the outfield is scoring Holloway.
The payoff again.
Yeah.
That's high. That's ball 4. No sense in swinging at that one. Mahler not even tempted. That's going to juice him up for Brandon Mahler.
Yeah, I don't think you're giving Brandon Mahler the Barry Bonds treatment here, but you got to be cautious.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're Cud, I mean, you also want to trust your stuff too.
Yeah,
like this guy is, Brandon Mahler's up there for best player in the NAC, but you still got to trust your stuff because you don't trust your stuff, you're going to walk in a runner.
Mahler flew out to right his first at-bat today. Cud kicks and fires. And Mahler going to lift that foul down the right field line. So Cud going off speed on the first pitch of the at-bat. He gets the first pitch strike. And a nice job from Mahler just to keep the bat in the zone long enough to make contact and not get the whiff. 0-1 pitch on the way. That's high for ball 1. Evens things up. You got Mahler at the plate. Just 1 out. On deck is Xavier Zagerman.
Yeah, Mahler 54 RBIs on the season. Even if you consider RBIs an outdated stat, 54 RBIs, you got to be pretty darn good to do that.
Ball 1, strike 1 out. Bases juice. Cud fires. Mahler. Wow. Puts some juice into that one. And again, if you're going to be putting anything to left field, you gotta straighten it out more than usual with that wind blowing hard left. That one not really going fair ever, but still.
And that ball a little inside too, and in on the hands.
That's probably a pitch that Brandon would want back. 1-2 count on Mahler. Cud kicks and fires. That's low. Evens things up at 2 apiece. Haven't seen Cud out in front of an at-bat too often this inning, and he evens it up there.
Yeah, I love that pitch there from Cud, though.
Mm-hmm.
You do not want to make a mistake on a 1-2 count. Throw something down, and Mahler even a little bit contested it a little bit.
You still got 1 ball of breathing room for Cud.
Yeah.
The 2-2 pitch is into center. Charging on it, Wallace makes the grab. Here comes Buckley. The throw in, not in time. Cam Buckley sliding into home. First run of the game goes to the Cougs. They take a 1-0 lead on the sac fly from Brandon Mahler.
Yeah, Buckley a little wild there on the slide, but shaking off his hand after. But
yeah, I mean,
you can imagine he's fine.
Had to make that play a little tenser than he wanted to. Kind of slipped, didn't get off on the jump he wanted over at third.
Yeah, but on the board. You can imagine just under 2 outs, bases loaded, almost an automatic run. You might as well put a 1 on the scoreboard at least. Brandon Mahler up.
Now first and second for Xavier Zagerman. Takes that first pitch high for a ball. Zagerman fouled out around the Cougar dugout his last time up after a long at-bat. He'll look to put it on the grass in the outfield and keep the line moving for Concordia. The 1-0 on the way. Oh, they get Zagerman going way out ahead of it on the off-speed down low, evens things up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, and if you're Cud, I mean, you got to be booming with confidence after, second and third, 1 out, and then you got the Maulers coming up, giving up just 1 run and getting 2 outs, or 1 out, excuse me, with 2 outs in the inning.
The 1-1 pitch just off the plate, 2-1.
You got to consider that a win if you're Brian Cud, and if you get out of here with just 1 out, now you got Zagerman. He gets on base a lot, but not one of the Cougars' stronger hitters in the lineup.
Yeah, we don't talk about Xavier as one of the premier power guys on this line. When he gets a hold of it, he gets a hold of it.
4 home runs on the season. He can have that pop.
The 2-1. That's well outside, 3-1. You have an open bag, so you can't afford to walk. You certainly don't want to.
Yeah. And you got Dom Owens coming up after, who is a more than capable hitter. So you want to keep the line moving here if you're Zagerman. Don't do anything crazy here on this 3-1.
Cud checks a second. He'll kick and fire.
Yeah.
Oh, way inside, ball 4. Zagerman does a little dance out of the way. He'll head to first. That'll juice him up for Dom Owens with 2 outs.
Yeah, I don't even think if Zagerman wanted to swing there, he could.
Catcher number 14, Dom Owens.
Yeah, this is a big at-bat here in this game for Brian Cud.
Dom 0 for 1 on the day as a little visit to the mound from North Central. And Cud readjusting the hat. They'll keep the freshman in the game. Just checking on him with the bases loaded, trying to get him out of it. You have to imagine that coming from the Cougar Sports Network, we know where the Cougars are at coming to the game. We're doing a bullpen game. We're switching it up every inning. You'd have to imagine we don't have that script, but for North Central, they've got a script of their own for the bullpen in this game, and you want to keep your guy in. You want him to finish off the inning. We saw that from the Cougars. Dylan Ferraro got into some trouble. He was able to finish off the inning himself. The script stays alive. You want Cud to finish off the inning so that you can stay according to plan and get your next guy out of the pen.
And do you trust your guy here enough to get out of this inning with just 1 out, or with 1 run, excuse me? Can you trust him? And a little mound visit for the hitter, Dom Owens. You do not want.
Owens comes out swinging into left field. That'll get all the way to Coberly. Barely had to move off his line. So 1 pitch, 1 out. Cud gets out of the inning, only gives up a run. Damage limitation from the freshman. We head to the top of the 4th. Cougars leading 1-0 when we come back.
Coberly.
And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network, top of the fourth. Concordia now leading 1-0 after putting a run across in the bottom of the third. North Central looking to punch back in the top of the fourth. They've got Caleb Coberly leading things off, and he's going to ground that foul. Start his at-bat. On the mound in the fourth for the Cougars is Caden Bork. Sam, what can we expect out of Bork, out of the bullpen?
Yeah, Bork, the sophomore out of McHenry, Illinois, not a great season either. 12.46 ERA on the season, and the key for Bork, just like a lot of other pitchers on the staff, is finding the zone and just getting the job done, getting this one inning, because you know that he's most likely just going one and done here, and just like all the other pitchers today, just get the job done, put a 0 on the scoreboard. Just get 3 outs and stay ahead of counts as well. That's been the key for just the entire game, and keep that pressure off the defense. Big first out, big first pitch strike. That's what you need here if you're Bork.
Got that first pitch strike, fires 2 balls. Follow them up, 2-1 count on Coberly. Fires it high again, 3-1.
And Bork, this is a guy who had a 4.3 ERA in 2025, so you know that 12.4 from this season, maybe a little unlucky at times.
5-pitch walk for Coberly. He keeps the bat on the shoulder after fouling off the first pitch, heads over to first. That puts a man on base for Peyton Diaz.
Extremely small sample as well, 8 2/3 innings, and this is time to prove yourself here. Every single pitcher in this game for the Cougars has to go in the mindset that they have something to prove, and that's what they've been doing. Even Ferraro getting out of that bases loaded jam, that strikeout to end the inning.
Bork fires, drops that one in for strike 1.
Yeah, that's a bold first pitch there.
Yeah,
Finds the zone, off speed, nasty.
0-1 count on the first baseman. Bork sets. And he'll kick and fire. Ooh, catch in the corner. 0-2 count on Diaz.
Yeah, those are 2 tough pitches. I mean, I don't think Peyton Diaz was expecting a curve action right down the middle on the first pitch of the at-bat, and like you said, finding the outside corner. 0-2 count here.
We'll see if Bork follows it up, continues to attack, and he's going to step off, take time. Starting to run out of time on the pitch clock. That's looking, got plenty of time back on the clock now. Here is the 0-2 from Bork. And I'll drop that high, first ball of the bat, and Diaz gets back into it.
Yeah, I don't know how much I love that pitch there in that 0-2 count. Really started out of the zone, never came back in. You want to throw something that starts in the zone, and even if you throw it in the dirt on an 0-2 count, you're okay with that. But non-competitive pitch there for the most part.
The 1-2, swing and a miss. Diaz goes fishing. That'll end his at-bat. First out of the inning, it brings Ryan Husky back up to the plate.
Yeah, and that's just great stuff there from Bork. With giving up that 5-pitch walk to the first batter and then going up immediately 0-2, you can tell the confidence is there for Bork, and Ryan Husky coming up to the plate.
And you see the difference you can get just from putting pitches in the zone. Husky checks his swing on the first pitch. Diaz, you go down 0-2, suddenly you have to protect. You know that he can find the zone. Both of those were called strikes. So you got to swing.
Yeah.
And you're going to start generating more whiffs if you're getting ahead in the at-bat early, if you're showing that you can fill up the zone. The 1-0 now on Husky. Bork generates a foul ball. That'll even things up at 1 apiece.
And still really no solid swings here from this North Central lineup, and that is just incredibly surprising. This is a team who slugs .482, and that's second in their conference, and a strong conference as well.
Yeah, and on the other hand, for the Cougars, this is the team, they give up a lot of walks, but also in general pitching that's going to be a stolen base for Coberly. Got a very, very late jump, but just kind of quiet from the Cougars players on the field in the dugout. And Owens isn't quick up to throw, doesn't realize he's going to steal straight away.
Yeah, Owens needs to pop up right away. I think he would have got him.
Yeah.
But just delayed steal, delayed pop.
That was pretty close even with the late pop. 2-1 pitch. That's into right field. That's a base hit. Coberly, he'll stop up at third. The single puts runners at the corners with 1 out. That's when that stolen base comes in, starts to matter.
Yeah, Ryan Husky, best swing of the day for both teams, in my opinion. Just ripped over to Zagerman, but yeah, you're not going to test that arm of Zagerman if you're Coberly. He has a absolute rocket of an arm, few outfield assists this season. But now another pressure spot. See how Bork can respond. Last time he gave up a walk, immediate strikeout.
Runners at the corners with 1 out. You're facing the bottom of the order. Medina at the plate. Caleb Smith on deck. Fires low and out to Medina to start the at-bat. Andre Medina drew a walk in his first plate appearance today. The 1-0 pitch.
Yeah, Medina, this is another guy. Only 16 starts on the season. He does not slug a whole lot. Batting .268 on the season, but he can walk, he can get on base, but not a lot of pop in his bat.
1-0. Fouled off, evens things up at 1 apiece.
I mean, with the runner on third here, you just want to get the ball in play to score that run.
Yeah, and you ideally you fly it into the outfield. We've seen that a couple times today from North Central, but not anything consistent. Not anything really dangerous either. 1-1 count. Bork kicks and fires. That's on the corner. 1-2.
And now you got to protect here if you're Medina. You just, once again, you just want to put the ball in play here and just score that run. A little bit of a pitching duel here. Pitchers duel. I can't really say pitchers duel. I mean pitching chaos duel, but
the 1-2 fouled back. So there's that defensive approach from Medina. He'll stay alive. Yeah, pitching chaos duel. Both these teams. Right now, the pitching chaos working out for the Cougs. They're in a little bit of a jam here.
I mean, it seems like there's been traffic on the bases in a lot of these innings, but
a lot of traffic on the bases. That pitch off the plate evens it up at 2 apiece. That single from Husky there, the first hit of the day for North Central. They've been getting on base, but
yeah, that does not feel like they broke up a no-hitter, a combined no-hitter. But not a lot of good swings here, and it kind of just feels like for both teams that one of them, they're just going to wake up eventually.
2-2, grounded over to the dugout. Medina's defensive stance continuing to pay off. And I mean, that's what it's going to feel for both these teams. It's what it's been for the Cougars all season long. You'll have a game, Concordia, 5 straight innings scoreless. They win 14-13. That's happened more than once this year. You got a little bit of a sleeping giant over in the home dugout. You got a little bit of a sleeping giant over in the visiting dugout, too. North Central, they've been explosive all year long as well. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss! Strikeout number 2 for Caden Bork. He gets Medina going high. That's how you beat that defensive approach. They're getting into that rhythm, going low, fouling off the low pitches. Send them something out high. That's a really big sort of plane change for that batter to make to still be able to make enough contact to foul it off.
Yeah, and something I love seeing out of Bork there. Up 1-2 and then 2-2. And even though Medina was fouling off pitch after pitch, it never got to a full count.
Yeah.
And that just puts so much pressure off of Bork and throws that ball in on his hands, strike 3. Just a gutsy at bat there from Bork. Difference between 1 out and 2 outs is huge here. No sac fly here. You just gotta, if you put the ball in play, you just gotta make a play.
Smith grounding that over to first. It goes foul past Linko. That's the first strike of the at bat. Smith starts at 0-1, and after starting the inning with 4 balls to 1 strike, Bork getting a lot more of those pitches in the zone. You can see the dividends it's paying with a pair of strikeouts.
Yeah, it's really been every other batter for Bork so far. It's been walk, strikeout, hit, strikeout. Let's see if that trend continues here. North Central hoping it does.
Bork, the 0-1. Been there for a strike. He's starting to feeling himself on the mound.
Great pitch there from Bork. And now you're up 0-2 again. And Caleb Smith, you got to protect, and even if you do, you're this is ultimate pitcher's count right here.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss! A trio of Ks for Caden Bork. He heads out of the dugout. 3 strikeouts, another impressive performance out of the pen for the Cougs. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Concordia still on top 1-0. Bottom of the 4th, Concordia up 1-0. And they're looking to add on to that lead of Jack Linko leading things off. It's 6-8, it's 7-8-9 coming up for the Cougs. On the mound this inning for North Central is number 18, Gavin Goronski. Goronski, the senior out of Wauwatosa, one of the few out-of-state players. And when I say few, we mean few out-of-state players for this North Central squad.
Yeah, Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, beautiful town. Yeah, for Goronski, not the season that he wanted. 16.5 ERA this season. Opponent's batting .385 off of him. And he walks more batters than he strikes out. 15 walks, 11 strikeouts, 18 innings on the season. And I mean, similar to some of these pitchers in the Cougar staff, he wants to prove something here.
Got a 2-1 count on Linko, make it 2-2. Big swing and a miss.
Yeah, aggressive swing there from Linko. A low-scoring game like this, you can imagine that hitters getting a little antsy, maybe losing a little patience, wanting to tie the game with one swing or go up or double the lead with one swing. And Linko with that aggressive approach. But Linko, I was talking about it earlier, fantastic season, a little bit of a surprise at the plate this season for Linko with that .371 batting average.
Linko takes that one low and in, fills it up at 3-2.
Yeah, if you can get 1 or 2 on, get it back up to Buckley and Holloway and the Maulers, and it seems like if you can get it up to the top of the order with less than 2 outs.
The 3-2 pitch. Linko gaps that one into left field for a base hit.
Yeah, I love that approach there from Linko. Going down and getting it, finding the open spot there between third and short. Not trying to do too much there. It's awesome 2-strike approach there.
Do your job, get on base. That brings Jeff Beckert up to the plate for the Cougs. Beckert grounded to third his last time up.
Yeah, Beckert, 10 walks on the season, gotten hit 6 times. .205 batting average. Not the strongest hitter in this Cougars lineup, but looking to do some damage here. At least just get on base, keep the line moving, get back up to the top of the order. That's what you're looking here if you're Jeffrey Beckert.
The first pitch to Beckert. They tag Goronski with a balk. So
Interesting.
That's going to move Linko up to second. Keep it at an 0-0 count. 0-1 count now on Becker. That first pitch gassed in for a strike. Jeff Becker coming into the day hitting .205. Got a lot of playing time at short earlier in the year. Took some time off. Gets back there. This time lays down a bunt to Goronski. Picks it up, firing to first in time. It does move Linko over to third. Honestly, you'll take that.
Yeah, no, I love that out of Becker.
You generate the balk. You don't really generate a balk, but you get the balk. It
Yeah.
moves the guy to second. Perfect sack bunt. Put it in a place you can't get it to third in time.
Yeah, and really just unselfish play there for Becker, not swinging the hottest bat this season. And in a game where it seems like runs are hard to come by, get a guy over to third base, anything in the outfield scores him.
That's grounded over to short. Diving stop by Yamada over to first to get the out.
Yeah, great play there from Yamada.
That was solid contact from Sperando, putting it in the gap between short and third. But Yamada, he's had a hot glove today, and he keeps it going there. 2 outs and a man at third for Cam Buckley. Goronski looking to get out of it with no damage. Kicks and fires. That's low for ball 1.
A good game for Buck today. Gone on base twice. Looking for a base hit now. Bring in Linko. Double your lead, as we were talking about earlier. Was not expecting this coming into the game.
The 1-0.
Off
the plate.
Both these offenses kind of making me look foolish. I was expecting fireworks coming into this game. Two high-powered offenses, but Buckley here, you just want to get something out to the outfield.
2-0 pitch. 3-0. Goronski can't find the strike zone. He's got a 3-0 count on Buckley. Cam drew a walk in his last at bat.
You give Buckley the green light here?
You're
No.
keeping the bat on the shoulder.
Yeah, well, even if he had the green light, I don't think he's offering that at all.
That pitch up around the head, up around the eyes. Ball 4 puts runners at the corners, and I'm gonna be honest. This might be the last guy in the lineup that I want to see coming up with guys on the corners right now.
Yeah.
Cam Buckley. I mean, not a lot of power behind Holloway's bat, but the contact, the hits.
You got to consider, if you're head coach Matt Smith here, for a hit and run, or get Buckley in motion here. You want to,
There you go, Buckley.
Interesting.
Over to second. I like the aggressive defense there from Medina.
Yeah.
You don't want the Cougars to go for
maybe catch
double
Linko
steal.
sleeping there. Look, semi-close play there at third.
Takes away the double play. Doesn't really matter for Holloway. What it does do is take away the fielder's choice at second. That's the bigger thing.
Yeah. And if Holloway gets it out with 2 outs, anything in the outfield scoring 2 here.
That's floated into center. It is into the outfield. Here comes Buckley around third. 2 are in for the Cougars. Brendan Holloway coming through again.
I mean, this guy.
It's the last guy you want at the plate in that scenario. You put the bat to the ball. You get it in play. He's been doing this for the last couple of weeks. It feels like every day. Brendan Holloway's stat line coming in 3 for 5, 4 for 5, 5 for 5.
I mean, that ball
4 for
just
4 with a walk. I mean,
that ball's got to be looking like a beach ball for Holloway out there right now. Just contact every single at bat. This guy doesn't strike out.
And that's grounded into left
Ripped.
field for a base hit. Jake Mahler moves him up 90 feet. That's going to put him at first and second for Brandon Mahler. We talked about the Cougars, a little bit of a sleeping giant. This is kind of where you start to see the Cougars come alive. Not the power, the hits.
Yeah.
Ball in play, ball in play, ball in play.
And then the Mahler bros with the power. And then Holloway knows his role. And Buckley knows his role. Just get on base and run the bases well and let the Mahler bros do the damage.
So runners at first and second for Brandon Mahler. Drove in a run on a sac fly. His last time up in the bottom of the third. Takes that first pitch for a ball. Goronski, the kid from Tosa, starting to lose his command a little bit. The 1-0 dropped in again. 2-0 count on Mahler. You got a base to give at third. You got Xavier Zagerman waiting on deck.
Never want to load the bases, but
No.
in a situation like this, I'm still cautious here if I'm Gronowski on this 2-0 pitch here.
The 2-0.
It's a good pitch.
Hey, gets the corner. Painting the edge.
Yeah, that's a good pitch there.
2-1 count on Brandon.
Absolute paint there, and you need a paint in the edges against this guy.
Mahler, hot shot straight to second. Bland gloves it over to first for out number 3.
Good hands there.
Gronowski gets out of the inning, not before the Cougars put across another 2. It's a 3-0 lead for the Cougars as we head to the top of the 5th and approach the halfway point of today's ball game. We'll be back in just a minute. Top of the 5th. Central now trailing by 3-0. Oh. Dave Dimeling onto the mound and straight into the back of Yuki Yamada to start his day on the rubber.
Center fielder.
So
Luke
the hit man puts the runner at first with no outs for North Central. Dave got some action on the mound in the last week. And what is going on with Dave Dimeling? Another ball straight into the back of Luke Wallace. 2 pitches, 2 hit batters. And Dimeling's put him on first and second with no outs. No visible concern from the bench for the Cougars right now, but that's a rarity.
Yeah, Dimeling injured last year, missed the entire season, and not the year he was looking for. And we know he can pitch. We know he can pitch, but this is just two pitches, 2 hit pitch, two batters hit. First 2 pitches of the inning. That's just, I don't think you can get a worse start than that.
Fires that in on Jackson Bland.
Well, the good thing for Dimeling here, you got to force that first, second, and third.
0-1 pitch. That one's high, evens it up at 1-1.
Cougars kind of seem to be getting out of every single possible jam in this game.
Yeah, Dimeling coming in today, he's pitched 13 innings, got a 12.46 through those 13. The 1-1. Just missing. 2-1.
It's close there, Dimeling.
So Dimling struggling to find the zone to start off this inning. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. He gets a whiff from Bland going low. Evens it up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, and these two most dangerous hitters in this lineup back-to-back with Bland, then Wyatt. You really need to get out here. You do not want to get the bases loaded or give up a run on the board.
The 2-2
What in the?
on the way.
Something came on the field, it looked like. What is a base? A ball? Where did that come from?
So that's coming from the
From the bullpen.
Bullpen.
Yeah.
oh
And that was a...
Dom Owens throwing it back to the bullpen. It bounces off the bullpen dirt into the outfield.
we got...
It's a comedy of errors on the third baseline.
Baseballs are just going anywhere right now.
I think we're finally back to the actual game. Even 2-2 count. Dimling, he'll be able to throw this one. Fires. That's lifted to center field. Buckley lines it up, makes the play. Yamada thought about third, and a nice ball in from Buckley to cut him down.
I mean, it's just anything you could do, I could do better right now with this staff. Dimling just saying, "Yeah, I'll just throw." Maybe just jokingly say, "I'll hit the first 2 batters and get out of it. Watch me."
Sam, have you ever played the show?
Of course.
All right, so this feels like almost like, one of those challenges you're doing Diamond Dynasty. They put you into the game, runners at first and second right when you're starting. You got to get out of the jam. It feels like Dimeling's just putting himself in that challenge right now.
Maybe Coach Smith is giving him these challenges. Hey, purposely throw out the first 2 hitters. See if you can get out of it.
That'd be a new one from a
Hey,
coaching
maybe
staff. That'd be a new one.
Maybe it's the experimental aspect we're talking about.
1-0 count on Wyatt.
Awfully aggressive lead there from second.
Make it a 2-0. Yeah, Yamada
dancing over there, having a little party over there at second base by himself.
on the year, he's been a menace on the base
Yeah.
paths. 13 for 14. They've only caught him once. And now they're going to throw down to second. He's able to get back in time, but with that lead, good throw might have had him there.
Yeah, and the struggling Dimling today. You can imagine Yamada just trying to get in Dave's head over here.
2-0 pitch on the way. It's lifted high into short right field. Sperando coming over it, still coming over to it, reaching out to make the play. That wind wreaking havoc in short right. I mean, Sperando's making the play on it. He's almost at the first baseline.
I mean, that's a great play there.
Yeah, just to track that one and get the glove to it. So that's out number 2. So 2 outs and runners at first and second. Caleb Coberly up to the plate. So it's worth mentioning again, Sam, with all the base runners that we've had for North Central today, and it's felt a lot like the Cardinals, they've been getting a lot of guys on. The Cougars have been getting out a lot of jams. They still just have 1 hit.
That's kind of unbelievable. 1 hit on the day. I mean, you're talking about the sleeping giant. They keep on hitting snooze.
2-0 count on Coberly. That's into center field. There's hit number 2. Yamada rounding third. He will score, and North Central gets on the board. It's a 3-1 game.
Yeah, challenge failed. But, I mean, if you can get out of here with just 1 for Dimling, that's fine after that nightmarish start. And this Cougars offense, they looked hot last inning, got a lot of base runners, and trying to put up another crooked number, but North Central's threatening with their own potential crooked number here in this top of the 5th.
First and second for Peyton Diaz. And Dimling dropping that just below the zone for ball 1.
That was awfully close there.
Yeah.
And once again, just second hit of the day. Second.
Ooh. Fires that one in. Diaz flinching away in a big way. He's seen how those batters have been getting hit in this inning. He doesn't want to become one of them. 2-0 count on Diaz. Dimling settles in. And he kicks and fires. That's high. 3-0 count on Diaz.
Yeah, I mean, North Central, they've been seeing the ball well, but they just have not been able to put that good contact on the ball. And you're, once again, just hoping that they don't adjust. But like we were talking about with this pitching chaos, you're not seeing the same pitcher twice.
The 3-0.
Yeah.
4-pitch walk for Diaz. He heads over to first. And with the bases juiced, Ryan Husky will step up to the plate.
Yeah, Husky with a great swing his last at bat. But
just a solid single into right field.
yeah, anything in the outfield is most likely scoring two. Zagerman and Buckley, two strong arms out there in the outfield, but one swing away from tying up this game and possibly taking the lead.
Dimling fires that low for ball one. Owens keeps it in front of him.
Dimling just not finding the zone at all, but there's still time. It's only 1-0 count here. Can still adjust.
Dimling settling on the rubber. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Off the plate again. 6 straight balls for Dave Dimling. After looking solid in the middle of the inning, starting to lose that command with the bases juiced. Here's the 2-0 pitch on the way. That's high. 3-0.
Nowhere to put him. Got to throw something in the zone and just hope that if the ball's in play, your defense can make a play like they've been doing all game.
Dimling's trapped in Aggieland right now, looking to get out of it. And he does!
That's a strike.
Catching the inside corner, 3-1 count.
Yeah, in my opinion, Husky here, you still got to have that approach. That, in my opinion, I think you go with the passive approach here. Unless you get something that you love.
3-1. That's ball 4. Dimling walks in a run. Everybody moves up 90 feet. That'll make it a 3-2 ball game.
Hey, 2 hits, 2 runs.
Andre Medina coming up to the plate now with the bases juiced. As the Jake Mahler and Dom Owens head to the mound to have a chat with Dave. I'm going to get out of a jam and keep the Cougars in front with that lead down to just 1. Sam, Cougars wearing one of their alternates today with the yellow and white pants. Don't see this combo too often as they head back to the rounds. We'll talk a little bit more on the uniforms in just a minute as Andre Medina steps up to the plate for North Central. Medina 0 for 1 on the day, drew a walk his first time at the plate in the third. Dimling fires. That one's fired in for a strike. 0-1 count now. Dimling looking to make it 0-2. And he does so, getting a big whiff from Medina.
Good tunnel action there. The ball looked like it sunk last second. Medina fooled.
The 0-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. 3-pitch strikeout to end the inning. Dimling gives up a couple. North Central gets on the board, but the Cougars stay in front. 3-2. They'll be there when we come back in the bottom of the 5th in just a minute on the Cougars Sports Network.
Who's this?
And we're back. Top of the 6th. Sorry, bottom of the 5th. Xavier Zagerman stepping up to the plate for the Cougs with his guys up by 1, 3-2. North Central pushing a couple across in the top of the frame. On the mound this inning for North Central is Nathan Beers. And he fires that one in for a ball to start the at-bat against Zagerman. Beers, the 4th different pitcher we've seen today from North Central.
Yeah, Beers, a southpaw. 1 inning on the season this year, so really can't judge him. Just see how it goes. I mean, 9 ERA, but I mean, you might as well just say 1 inning, 1 earned run.
Yeah, the freshman out of St. Charles in Illinois.
Just a prove-it game here from Beers.
Yeah.
See what they got in the future. See what North Central's got in the future for this Beers kid.
The 1-1 off the plate, make it 2-1. Zagerman's 0 for 1 on the day. Drew a walk his last time up at the plate. The 2-1 is going to be fouled up over down the right field line. Diaz chasing, and it's down foul. His idea is make a nice play up against the fence back in the first inning to take out Zagerman. Wasn't able to make it there. Two-two count on Zagerman. You got Owens on deck, Linko in the hole. The 2-2 to Zagerman. Is lifted into center field. Wallace settling under it for out number 1. Zagerman flies out. That'll bring Dom Owens up to the plate.
Yeah, just about as routine as can be there.
Yeah.
Beers looking to be in control, and lefty-lefty matchup. You'd imagine favors Beers here, but let's see what Owens can do lefty-lefty here.
Beers kicks and fires, and he drops that in for a strike. Sam, we were talking about those Cougar jerseys, the yellow on white. Not one of the Cougars' more common combinations. We have seen them before. Where do you put them on your list of Cougar uniforms? As Owens lifting that into right center for a base hit, so the Cougars get a man on with 1 out.
Yeah, nice lefty-lefty approach there. But about the jerseys, I'm a fan. I like them. They're not my favorite. I like the pinstripes, but they're not my favorite. I like the accessories all in maroon. So I like the lefty, or lefty's on the mind right now. I like the maroon sleeves and the maroon padding, whatever it is, along with the maroon number. Really getting the full experience, Cougar experience there. But
first pitch, Linko low. Yeah, the pinstripes. I think that's a non-controversial. That's an easy choice for number 1 for this squad. Pinstripes, unbeaten, and that goes for honestly all of baseball. Honestly, this might be my number 2 combination for the Cougs. I love the yellow. It's bright, it's vivid, it's different, stands out. I love the script. I also I like the simplicity. There's nothing extra to it. You got the yellow, and then you got solid maroon. You got block numbers on the back. You got the number on the front.
Hey, Jonathan, what have we been talking about all day? This is an experimental game, man. We're experimenting with the pitchers. There's a ground ball.
Shot. Yamada can't get it cleanly over to second for 1. Over to first. Double play. He bobbles it, but it gets the job done. Yuki Yamada flashing the leather again to get him out of the bottom of the 5th and keep the gap at 1.
At the end of 5.
That'll do it for the bottom of the 5th. We head to the top of the 6th. Cougars still up by 1, looking to keep it there when we come back. And we're back top of the 6th. North Central trailing by 1, 3-2. As we enter the 6th frame, Caleb Smith leading things off. And on the mound for the Cougs is Josh Procyse. The Cougars starting to get to the top of the pen. Procyse, he's been electric over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Procyse 3.65 ERA on the season, over 12 innings, and opponents just batting 190 against him. He does give up some walks, 9 walks, 10 strikeouts, but does not give up a lot of hard contact. Looking to find the zone today. Trust your stuff here. Get the job done. Put a 0 on the board. Trust that your offense will help you out. Diming with the rough appearance in the 5th, but even still salvaging the damage. Only 2 runs. Still up here, and just another one of the surprisingly low scoring here.
In a 3-1 count on Smith. Procyse had a big performance against Marion a couple weeks ago. Picked up the save in Game 2 against Illinois Tech last Tuesday, 8 days ago. And he fires a walk to Caleb Smith to start his outing today. Now put a man at first with no outs for Yuki Yamada. Yamada 0 for 2 on the day. Got drilled in the back his last time up at the plate.
Number 11, Yuki Yamada.
Procyse steps and fires. That one just gassed in for a strike.
Yeah, that's a good first pitch strike there.
Going after Yamada here. And Yamada on the season in 339, big contact guy. Got some slug behind it. Stolen base attempt from Smith. The throw from Owens way offline and into center field. This not a great pickoff attempt. That moves Smith all the way over to third.
Yeah, with no outs. You'd imagine this run that. You'd imagine a run is going to get scored this inning. Let's see what Procyse can do here.
Puts a guy at third with a 1-1 count on Yamada.
Yeah,
Make it 2-1.
You'd imagine anything in play is scoring him.
Yeah.
Infield not in either.
2-1 count. Procyse sets, and he'll kick and fire. That's high. 3-1 count on Yamada. Procyse able to reset on the mound. And here's a 3-1 on the way. High again. Another walk. 2 straight walks to start the innings. Puts runners at the corners, no outs with the heart of the order coming up. Owens going to head out to the mound to have a chat with Procyse, get a game plan together for the next 3 guys. We've got Wallace, Bland, and Wyatt coming up.
Yeah, and these are your strongest hitters in this high-powered offense that has not been high-powered today. Now, in this situation, they've been North Central has been drawing so many walks. If you're the Cougars here, you just want to attack the zone as much as possible. Obviously, North Central uncomfortable with this pitching chaos that the Cougars have been rolling with all day long, and just attack the zone and just hope for balls in play that your defense can make.
Throw down first, not in time. Yamada's back in. Wallace 0 for 1 on the day. Drew a walk and got hit by a pitch. There's reach base twice. Procyse fires. Hot shot over to third. Snagged by Mahler. Over to second for 1.
Wow.
They'll stay content with it there. They cut down the leadoff runner. There's out number 1. Nice snag from Mahler.
Yeah, I mean, the dive from Mahler there, obviously flashy play, but what I was impressed with is the hop that ball took. Good snag there from Mahler, and
that's a
strike to second base. That's a great play there.
That's a great play and a bit of a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
A sigh of relief for Jake Mahler. He's been struggling on the defensive side of the ball for the last couple of weeks and able to make a big play there and get back on the right side of things.
Yeah, Mahler's been at third. He's been at second this year. And maybe a little spark some confidence in that glove. He's got plenty of confidence at the plate. We know that.
A 1 count, throw down to first, not in time. Wallace is back in safely. We got Jackson Bland at the plate. He was 0 for 2 on the day. Drew a walk back in the first, float out to left and center in his next 2 at-bats. The 0-1 to Bland. Runner going for second, throw down. That's high again. Owens, he's had some chances to make the play, but they've been having to jump up for every one of these pickoff throws.
Yeah.
He's not able to make the throws when he needs to.
Yeah, not the best throws today from Owens behind the dish.
But, hey, he got an 0-2 count on Bland.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, if you get 2 outs here, takes away the sac fly.
Oh, and that's drilled into right field for a knock. Smith coming home to score. They'll hold Wallace at third. It's an RBI single for Jackson Bland. Bland got jammed up on that pitch. Still able to just muscle it out into the grass.
That's good hands there. Pretty hard hit ball. Infield in as well. Scores 1. Yeah, Wallace not going to test the arm of Zagerman.
That's a good hold.
Out in right field. Just try to keep the line moving. And you got the heart of the order here. No need to do anything stupid on the base paths.
Yeah, Wyatt 0 for 3 on the day. He's got a pair of flyouts and a strikeout. Starting this at-bat off with a big whiff. Game's tied up at 3 now. And North Central still threatening to put some more across. The 0-1 to Wyatt is popped foul over the Cougar dugout. Makes it an 0-2 count. Not been a great day for Parker. Not the day he wanted at the plate.
No.
And it's sucking another hole here. Procise in a good spot. Looking to get that second out and work towards the end of the inning. He checks over to first. Now he kicks and fires. That's well outside first ball. So Wyatt gets back into it. 1-2 count. Wyatt settles in again. He kicks and fires again. That's fouled off, this time all the way into the trees. Back by Geisman.
Yeah, I might get on to the tennis courts.
Sam, what's going on with Concordia Tennis lately?
Concordia Tennis is into the NAC tournament this season for the first time since 2023.
And that ball is into left field. North Central goes up 4-3, one RBI knock for Parker Wyatt. I think we can blame that one on Concordia Tennis.
Blame it on Geno Smith. Blame it on Concordia Tennis. I mean, that ball just found the barrel. Yeah. Wyatt, great swing there, not trying to do too much. And like we talked about, the sleeping giant, and I still wouldn't be surprised if both these teams get in the double digits.
I mean, after we saw North Central, they struggled to make solid contact all day long. Now we're starting to see solid contact base hits. Another one into left field. That bit more of a blooper. Bland hot on his way around third, and everyone's safe.
Yeah, much more comfortable North Central is looking at the plate. And those are two, I mean, that's solid swing. Find a spot there. North Central with the lead, and
first baseman number 31, Peyton.
Finally getting the groove. They've been getting on base. That has not been a problem. It's been driving those runners in, and Procise not getting those spots in the outfield.
Still just one out. Procise starting to lose control of the inning a bit. The 1-0 pitch as Procise settles back onto the mound. He looks back and fires. That's down low. Ball 1 on Peyton Diaz. Diaz 0 for 2 on the day. Drew a walk in his last appearance.
Yeah, Diaz, another guy batting 349 on the season.
That's a hot shot. Gloved over to third for one. Nice play from Beckert to cut down the lead runner.
Yeah.
Everyone else safe over at first and second, so that makes it 2 outs.
And that ball was
Yeah.
pretty hard hit, but Beckert, no panic there. Throw it over to third, get that lead runner out. Now you got 2 outs. And
the other dimension that makes that play tough for Beckert, not only is it a hard hit grounder, you got to track it with the guy at second starting to run right through your field of view.
That's impressive.
Grounded over to first. Husky. 1 pitch, 1 out. Procise ends the bleeding, but not before North Central pushes 3 across. They have their first lead of the day. It's 5-3 Cardinals when we come back on the Cougars Sports Network. And we're back on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the 6th. And Concordia trailing for the first time today. They're down 5-3 as Jeff Beckert will lead things off for the Cougs. Beers fires that off the plate for ball 1. 1-0 count on Beers. Off the plate again, 2-0 count.
Yeah, Beers coming in for a second inning today. Rare to pitch more than 1 inning in this game, but he looked pretty sharp in that outing. And only hit he gave up to was the lefty Dom Owens, which I would not have thought would be the case. But
oh, that's right on the belt. That'll sting as Jeff Beckert heads over to first. Light jog, he takes a base, and the Cougars get the leadoff man on.
Yeah, Beckert, cool guy there, trying to look unaffected. You know, getting hit by a pitch is just
it's never fun business.
It's not. Unless you get hit, like, if it like barely grazes you, you're like, oh, awesome, put me on first. It's been on a 3-0 count too, like.
I'll put a man on first, no outs for Richie Sperando. Sperando 0 for 2 on the day.
And my limited baseball career before college, I was in a 3-1 count. This dude hits me right on the ankle.
Oof.
I'm like, you could have at least done that when it was 0-1, you know? Just walk me normally. Walk me ethically, please.
The 0-1, Sperando takes it off the plate. Those 3-0 hit by pitches, those are that's
the worst.
Something.
Like, just give the dugout a warning at that point. I don't care how unintentional it was.
1-1 count on Sperando. And throw down to first. Maybe that's to get out of the pitch clock. Becker, I don't think Becker was ever intending to steal there. He was back on the bag for that ball was even halfway over to the first baseman.
Yeah, I don't think this is just Aggie fans. I bet every single fan base boos on something like that.
1-1 pitch on the way. Sprando up the middle. Bobbled over to second for one. Over to first. Double play! Bland, a nice recovery after he can't glove it initially.
Yeah, that's going to go down as a contender for sloppiest double play.
That was a throw over to first off the line, too.
23, Cam Buckley.
That clears the bases. That makes it 2 outs for Cam Buckley.
Yeah, maybe just because these innings just have gone so long, but it feels like forever since the top of the order for the Cougars has been up. And this is the perfect spot, lefty-lefty matchup, and nobody on base, 2 outs. Buckley, good rip.
And it's down in center field for a base hit. Cam Buckley comes through. He keeps the line moving.
All right, Jonathan, I'm going to make a bold statement here.
Yeah.
Brendan Holloway is going to put the ball in play.
Fielder number 17, Brendan Holloway.
Might be the 10th craziest prediction we've had today, Sam.
The 10th craziest prediction.
Again, Brendan, he has been phenomenal at the plate. Almost.
Yeah.
And you know a guy who's been reminding me of lately?
Give it to me.
Nico Horner if you played in the outfield.
Okay. All right.
You go up to the plate. You don't got all the juice behind, even though, I mean, Nico Horner, 2026, he's got some power. But, you know.
That ain't lasting.
We'll see how that goes, Sam. But, you get that is a bold prediction. But you get those guys, and there's a lot of them out in the league. You know, Luis Arraez is one of those guys.
Yeah.
Not a lot of juice there. You step up to the plate, they're going to make contact.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a foul ball? Are they going to ground out? Are they going to put it in play for a base hit? Double. Maybe. Probably. That's where it's at for Brendan Holloway as of late. Like we mentioned, 3 for 4, 4 for 4, 4 for 5.
You know, I'm a big analytics guy, but I don't mind a high batting average, low slug. If you get a single, you get on base, you get on base.
Mm-hmm. That pitch low. Buckley going for second, uncontested. He's in standing.
Yeah, just like that. If Holloway gets one out to the outfield, finds a spot, you're cutting this lead to 1.
And it's the kind of thing you're never really going to complain about either. I mean, especially in situations like this, 2 outs. Now you got a guy at second. You'll love a base hit.
Absolutely.
Keeps the line moving. You put another guy on the bags. There are no negatives to the base hit. And when you've got your power coming up right behind it, too, you're not lacking in that as a lineup. Perfect supplement, perfect complement. 1-1 count on Holloway. Beers checks back to second. And he fires. Holloway taps that down foul, sets up a 1-2 count.
Yeah, and Holloway, just a guy with really quick hands. I mentioned it before on the broadcast. I mean, that's part of the reason he could put the ball in play so consistently, and he's got a great 2-strike approach.
1-2 count. Holloway settles into the box.
Yeah, not a guy with the greatest plate discipline, but for the amount of contact he makes, doesn't matter.
And timeout called on the mound by Beers. He wants to get a quick reset in before he fires the 1-2 pitch to Holloway. Settling in. Kick and fire. Holloway fouls that off. Over the field house. That one probably off the fence over at the tennis courts. So it's a 2-2 count on Holloway. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second. Cougars down by 2. Now fill it up. This is also an at-bat you'd love to see. Man on second, 2 outs, a long at-bat.
Yeah, put the pressure on Beers here.
Good things tend to happen the longer you make an at-bat go. Payoff pitch on the way from Beers. Oh, that's chopped grounder over to first. Diaz does it himself for out number 3. Nathan Beers takes a unique route, but he gets out of the inning with minimal stress. And keep the Cougars scoreless. We head to the top of the 7th. North Central leading 5-3 when we come back. And we're back top of the 7th. North Central up by 2. Oh, Andre Medina. A towering foul ball over there. Andre Medina actually not in the game anymore. Pinch hitting for Andre Medina is Gavin Kleiss, number 30. So Kleiss barreling up a high towering foul ball. And now he'll lift that one into right center. Buckley running over and making the play for out number 1.
Yeah, good first out there. I feel like we haven't had that in a while. Kind of reminded me of the beginning of the game, which felt like 2 days ago, first couple innings.
Third baseman, number 23,
But,
Caleb Smith.
yeah, Stone, pretty solid season, 3.65 ERA. Really identical stat line to Pro Size. Same ERA, same amount of innings pitched. 8 strikeouts, 8 walks. Opponent's batting .269 against him. Put himself in a little more trouble than Pro Size, at least before Pro Size's last outing earlier today. But, yeah, Stone, a guy you like on the mound here. Just want to hold it here. Have faith that your offense can get a few more runs on the board.
You got a 1-0 count on Smith, make it a 2-0.
That actually caught the zone.
Oh, that did catch the
Yeah. Looked a little out, but
1-1.
1-1 count here.
Smith, he's 0 for 1 with a pair of walks today. And he's going to rip that down the right baseline. And Linko does it himself for out number 2. So back to business for Kyle Stone. 2 quick outs. And that'll bring Yuki Yamada up to the plate.
I mean, if Stone, fingers crossed, but if Stone can retire this hitter here, do you want to throw him in for the 8th inning as well?
I think you stick with it. You stick with the script.
Yeah.
This game you're
Well, maybe it was part of the script because there hasn't really been a pitcher today to get out of the inning relatively quick for the Cougars today, but you'd have to imagine it's on Coach Smith's mind if Stone gets out of here. But
1-0 count on Yamada. Stone kicks and fires. Make it a 2-0. That one low and out again. Yamada 0 for 2. Drew a walk in his last at bat. Came around to score. Stone kicks and fires the 2-0. That's high again. 3-0 count on Yamada. Trying to reach base in his third consecutive plate appearance. .30. That's in for a strike. 3-1 count now.
A little late call there.
You want to know, looking at Yamada's batting stance, you know what that reminds me of?
Tell me.
There's a 3-1 draws walk. Ryan Sandberg.
Interesting.
You got that bat straight up,
Yeah.
perpendicular to the ground. You know, which really you don't see in the game anymore.
Yeah.
And that was something. Growing up, that was my dad grew up in Chicago watching the Cubs,
Center fielder,
Yeah.
number
watching Ryan
4.
Sandberg's coach bat the way he coached me to bat that way growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Frustrated every coach I had growing up as they tried to coach me out of that.
I mean, that's just part of the evolution of the game as
Yeah.
well.
And you look at the game these days with analytics and everything, bat speed, bat velocity, all of that. They're valued so much more now. And it's part of the reason you don't see stances like that because it does take longer to drop the bat from
Absolutely.
that position. Wallace finds himself in an 0-2 hole to start the at-bat. No balls, 2 strikes. Stone settles in. Now he'll kick and fire. Oh, that's way high. 1-2 count on Wallace. Not a competitive pitch on 0-2. You still got 3 more balls to give. I'm going to get out of the inning quickly and bring your offense back up to the plate. You got the 1-2 pitch. Owens thrown over to second. That time it's on the money. Yamada got a great jump, his 14th stolen bag of the season.
Well, it kind of looked like Owens hesitated on that throw, maybe looking for a strike 3 call. But
Doesn't get the strike
yeah,
3.
did not get the call, 2-2 count.
Evens things up on Wallace. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at second. Just high again. It'll fill it up.
That was close. Very close there.
Wallace leaving it on his shoulder after going down 0-2, and it pays off. Full count, 3-2 pitch on the way from Kyle Stone. Going from 0-2 to a walk. Wallace headed over to first.
Well, it looked like smooth sailing. First 2 batters and give up the walk, but go up 0-2. But, you know, it wouldn't be a it wouldn't be a Cougar inning without some traffic on the base paths, especially in this game.
16, Jackson
So it's first and second for Jackson Bland. Bland ripped a single into right field his last time up at the plate. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Stone settling in. That's outside. 5th straight ball for Stone. After he started this inning strong, starting to lose a little bit of that command as he works through the heart of the order. The 1-0 pitch. That's a hot shot over to second. Sperando flipping to second place for out number 3. Flashing the leather to end the inning. Stone maybe up to the heart rate. 5 beats per minute. Gets out of it anyways. We head to the bottom of the 7th.
no runs.
Cougars trailing by 2, looking to get back into it when we come back.
2 left
Bottom of the 7th, Cougars. 7 back up to the plate. You got 3, 4, 5 coming up for CUC. Right in the middle, Jake Mahler leading things off. Brandon Mahler on deck. Xavier Zagerman in the hole. On the mound for the inning for North Central, replacing Nathan Beards is Yakub Rayon. Rayon fires that just low. 1-1 count on Mahler. The 1-1 pitch. Low again.
Yeah, if you're wondering why I haven't said anything about Rayon yet, he has pitched 1/3 of an inning this season. And he has a 54 ERA.
So that 1/3 did not go that well.
Yeah, but similar to Beers. I mean, how's that for your second appearance going up against the arguably or two of the best hitters in the NAC?
You got a 3-1 count on Jake Mahler. And he walks him. Went from 0-1 to a walk. Jake Mahler headed over to first. Leadoff man's on. No outs for the Cougs. Brandon Mahler stepping up to the plate. Ryan, the freshman out of Niles. 5'10", throws right-handed. And like you mentioned, third of an inning.
Yeah, not a whole lot of experience and very interesting time to put him in the game in a 5-3 bottom of the 7th against the Mahler bros.
And a big spot. I mean, you go into the numbers. This did have a shot at being the last time both Mahlers came up to the plate in this game and put some trust in the freshman. Not doing too bad so far. First pitch strikes in both at-bats. Going 1-1 now on Brandon Mahler.
Yeah, and you'd imagine in a game like this where there's a lot of traffic, not high scoring, but a lot of traffic, the Mahler bros will get at least one more shot at it.
Rayon checks over to first, settles in, and fires. Right, painting the corner. Nice breaking ball. That's a nice pitch.
I mean, you got to throw your best stuff here.
Yeah. 1-2 count on Brandon Mahler. Mahler's 0 for 2 on the day. Has a sac fly and an RBI. The 1-2. That's high, evens it up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, that ball really never finding the zone. Started up, stayed up.
Yeah, and Brandon Mahler, relative to his brother, he's had a quiet last week or two. Did put up a home run, solo shot against Marion on Monday. Again, that's relative to his brother, who's been the hottest hitter on the squad.
Quiet.
One of the hottest hitters in the nation over the last week.
I mean, quiet for Brandon Mahler. Most hitters would take a quiet Brandon Mahler performance. String of weeks, I should say.
2-2 count. Rayon kicks and fires. That's grounded up the middle. That could be 2. There's out at second. Over to first. Double play. Whew. I mean, Sam, when was the last time you saw a game 3 double plays from the same team?
I mean, I am very impressed by the defense on both sides.
So that gets Rayon out of the troublesome part of the order. That brings Xavier Zagerman up to the plate, and he leans back out of the way of that one right up around the eyes.
Yeah, Zagerman maybe didn't see his life flash before his eyes, but he saw something flash before his eyes.
Bit of a big wake-up call.
Oh,
as he's going to foul that off towards the track.
That ball is landing around the 20-yard line.
1-1 count on Zagerman.
I mean, those nets they didn't stand a chance on that one.
Rayon settling in. He'll kick and fire. Dropping that one high for ball 2. That's honestly been something that's killing the Cougars. They've been making a lot of contact. They got 8 hits on the day, but not converting with the guys on the base paths.
No.
The 2-1. Dropping that in. Strike 2 evens it up on Zagerman.
I mean, it's really just been a wide zone for the umpire today. Kind of just call him whatever he wants. No theme.
The 2-2. Low and in, fills it up. Rayon trying to get out of the inning, 3 up, 3 down. Swing and a miss. He gets Zagerman swinging high. And that'll win the inning. Xavier Zagerman
In the inning, no runs, no
telling the
hits,
official he's not
no
too
left out
pleased.
there.
He doesn't feel like Rayon made eye contact with him
5-3, Cardinals.
on that last pitch. They'll head back to the dugout. Cougars still trailing by 2. We got 2 innings to go in the Thunderdome when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. And we're back. Top of the 8th. Cardinals up by 2, 5-3. Leading off the inning. Ooh, is Parker White. He rips that into left field, and it's foul. Barely. Maybe 6 or 7 inches. There's strike 1.
Yeah, Jack Linko on the hill. I mean, he's batting .371 on the season, but he could also pitch. 10 innings on the season. ERA floating around 8.
Yep.
Not the strongest outing, but he does have a decent strikeout to walk ratio. 13 strikeouts on the season to 6 walks.
The 0-1 pitch. Dropping in, foul it off again. So you got an 0-2 count on Wyatt. The Cardinals still looking for their first extra base hit of the day.
Yeah, that's just an unbelievable stat right there. No extra base hits.
The 0-2 on the way. That's skied into right field. Zagerman tracking through the wind. And makes a play for out number 1. One out. Base is empty. Brings up Caleb Coberly.
Left fielder number 1, Caleb Coberly.
Coberly 2 for 3 on the day. Last 2 at-bats reached base with a pair of singles. He's got a walk to go with it as well. He's been getting on the bags. Linko fires. That's grounded over to second. Sperando over to first. So there's out number 2. Routine play, looking like you're in practice. And the bench loves that one. Brandon Mahler getting the put out over at first.
That's a great put out.
The fans loving it as well. So Brandon,
First baseman number 31.
you do have Brandon Mahler over at first. That is not a first baseman, just to clarify. Brandon, he's DH'd, played catcher his whole career. You got the guy over at first because you got Jack Linko on the mound. If you put Jack Linko on the mound, and you bring in a defensive substitution for first base, it takes Linko out of the game. Linko, he's one of the best bats you got in the lineup, especially towards the bottom of the order. You want him to stay up in the lineup. He's coming up second in your next appearance at the plate. The way you can keep him in the lineup is you move your DH into the field. Brandon Mahler, he's been DHing today. You put him over at first. We'll see how long he stays there.
Well, what have we been talking about all day? Experimental. We're getting experimental today. Linko at the mound, which is not super uncommon. Linko is a solid pitcher, but Mahler over there at first. It's not too hard, right? Just catching a ball.
It's incredibly hard. 1-2 count on Diaz. Swing and a miss.
Oh,
Tipped.
just
high and drop it out of the glove of Owens. You gotta wonder, was this planned? Because usually you'll see in a doubleheader, Coach Smith has Mahler catch game 1, then you put in Owens in game 2. They flip that DH. You have Mahler on the DH knowing that you're going to put him in over at first.
I didn't see any cameras catching him over at first base warming up before the game or anything.
That one just missing the zone.
Owens wanted that one. He was ready to throw it to third base.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs on Diaz. Linko settles back on. Now kick and fire. Low and out. Fills it up on Diaz.
Yeah, just like that 3-2 count, and you were one squeeze of the glove away from getting out of this inning. But hey, the script says Brandon Mahler at first base and a stressful inning, no matter what. That's what the script is saying today.
All right, payoff pitch on the way from Linko. Grounded, Becker charging, gloves it over to first. Oh, Mahler can't pick it. That was a tough play, and Brandon Mahler can't get the job done. Would have made the highlight reel if he could. There's a man on base with 2 outs now.
Yeah, I think somebody called in his ear, drop this. Got to give up a base runner in this inning.
I mean, last time we didn't had an inning, no base runners, probably top of the second.
Yeah, and like in 2022, was that the last time?
Your attention, please.
Pinch hitting
Batting
for Ryan Holsky is Peyton Berg.
Husky, number 2, Peyton Berg.
Berg pinch hitting in that DH spot. Oh, so we were talking about batting stances earlier. So North Central, they got a lot of the guys who actually keep that perpendicular to the ground position. Berg's one of them. He keeps it rotating.
Yeah.
Keeps the bat moving. That's right up until the pitch gets to the plate. Oh, paint in the corner. Linko gets him in a 1-1 count.
Yeah, Linko looking strong here. His stuff looks great. Like I said, a squeeze of the glove away and close call in that last at-bat.
Berg lifts that into left center. Buckley tracking over. Makes the play on the run for out number 3. North Central gets a man on. They strand him over at first.
After 7.5, Cardinals
Wait,
5.
still a 2-run lead for North Central. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Cougars still looking to get back into it when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network. on the mound to start the bottom of the 8th for North Central is Parker Eichhorst, replacing Jakub Rayon.
Yeah, Eichhorst a little bit more different than the last two pitchers for North Central. It's a 9 ERA on the season. Oh, excuse me, I am mistaken. He has 3 innings pitched on the season. Well, I guess that is a lot more, comparatively speaking. But three innings on the season. So then again, not much I can really talk about.
Leading things off for the Cougs is Dom Owens. He's got a 3-0 count.
Yeah.
Start it. Yeah, Eichhorst on the year through those 3 innings. 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. The 3-0. Just dropping that one straight down the middle. Making it a 3-1 count on Owens. Dom, he's 1 for 3 on the day with a single. He'll fire the 3-1. Owens gonna foul that up over the bleachers. That'll get out towards the track. Land around the pole vault equipment. Fills up the count, 3-2. So full count to start the inning. Payoff pitch coming in from Parker Eichhorst. That's low and in, ball 4. They walk him. Lead off man on for the Cougs and for Jack Linko. Coming off of a great inning of work on the rubber. Linko looking to get it done at the plate.
I mean, we're really seeing the future of North Central's pitching staff with Eichhorst. That's 3 straight freshmen with little to no experience.
Eichhorst settling and firing. That's catching the zone. Strike 1 on Linko.
Yeah, Linko with a great inning. No runs. Really not a whole lot of stress.
Yeah, he's 1 for 3 on the day. Ripped a single into left field. 0 for 1. The 0-1. Oh, it's way in the dirt off the mask of Kleist. Owens is going for 3. Oh, and he's going to haul up. A good hold.
Well,
but
I would have liked the aggressiveness there. Owens not the fastest guy on the team, but from where he was, that's a tough throw to make.
Yeah. Honestly, anybody but Owens. You're probably seeing him go for 3rd there.
Yeah.
A lot of this lineup has a lot of speed. And that would have been a real tough play to make, getting all the way over to 3rd. Linko skying that one to center. Coming onto it is Wallace, and he makes the play for out number 1. One away, man on second now for Jeff Becker.
Number 4, Jeff Beckert.
Becker, he's 0 for 1 on the day. He's been doing his job. Got a sack bunt to move the man. And he got tagged by a pitch in the back his last time up. Eichhorst checks back to second. He'll settle in. And
timeout?
Pitch clock violation.
Pitch clock violation.
On Eichhorst. First time we've seen it called today. Honestly, we should have seen it called more. They haven't called it every time. Watching that clock. The 1-0 for Eichhorst. Low and out, 2-0. So Becker in a favorable count to start his at-bat. Eichhorst kicks and fires. Oh, spikes that. Owens going for 3rd, and he's in easily.
Yeah, that was a generous bounce, but
yeah, Kleist couldn't grip it straight away.
Yeah, I mean, Kleist kind of looks surprised. I feel like if he threw that right away, he could have had a chance, but
Just wasn't
Right
overly
around
aggressive
third.
on the hurl.
Yeah.
So 3-0 ultimate hitters count for Jeff Beckert.
What? Oh. Did he not get in the box?
And I guess they're going to attack Beckert with a hitter's count. So after not really looking at the pitch clock all game, the umpire's starting to care about it. Hot grounder over to second. That'll score Owens, and the Cougars are within a run.
Well, there you go. Cut it to 1. I mean, that's fine. That's 2 wild pitches there. Eichhorst, like we talked about, not a lot of experience from these freshman pitchers. Maybe 2-3 years down the line, this North Central team, if Cougars get them on their schedule, we'll see Eichhorst and these freshman guys getting high leverage situations.
Richie Sprando at the plate with 2 outs. Cougars trailing by a run. In the bottom of the 8th, got Cam Buckley on deck. Sprando firing it to short, gloved by Yamada, over to first for out number 3. Quick inning of work for Eichhorst, but the Cougars are able to manufacture a run. We head to the top of the 9th. North Central leading by 1. It's 5-4 when we come back. And we're back top of the 9th. 1 inning to go. North Central leading by a run. It's 5-4. As Kyle Connolly's onto the mound for the Cougars. And this guy, he has been the best arm on the staff for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Conley got that sidearm approach. Good numbers this year, 3.72 ERA in 19 and a third inning. 17 strikeouts to 7 walks this year. He has gross stuff. And when he's on, he is on. Trying to hold this game to a one-run lead. You got Cam Buckley leading off and trying to do his part. Keep this game at 1.
0-2 count on Kleist off the plate. And Owens spiked up off the chest. He's going to head over towards the dugout to catch his breath. Coach Smith coming over to check on him, and looked like it clipped up off the bottom of the mask and took an awkward bounce off the plate. Owens back up, headed back over to the plate.
Yeah, catches are tough.
You ever catch growing up, Sam?
A few times, but no, not really. Back in 8U, whatever it was. I tried to catch, and they told me I had to use a real catcher's mitt, and I was upset. So I was like, nah, I'm fine.
1-2 count on Kleist. Connolly fires.
Oh,
Just off the plate. Ball 2.
I'm telling you, it's that inconsistent zone today.
Owens, not a fan of that call. Here's the even pitch. That one, grounded foul over toward the Cougar dugout.
Yeah, Conley still looks to be in control of this at bat. I mean, for Kleist, that's a gutsy take with 2 strikes.
The 2-2.
Jeez.
Fouled off of his ankle. Kleist staying alive.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, Conley just still in control. Kleist barely staying alive.
Yeah, he got up in the count.
Really is a game of inches.
Trying to punch in the finish. The 2-2 on the way. That's lifted into right field for a base hit. Kleist gets aboard. The leadoff man's on. North Central trying to pad the lead.
Yeah, that's a really good at bat there from Kleist. Good take on that close call, and fouled off a few pitches. Got the pitch that he liked. Drove it out to right field. Putting the leadoff runner on.
So Caleb Smith up to the plate now. Connolly fires. And Smith showing bunt. So that's a wild pitch. It went off the umpire.
Yeah, he looks to be a little shaken up.
It went off the bottom of the foot.
Now, did that hit the bat?
And that's what the Cougars bench is asking umpire, giving him the stats, telling him it was him.
Yeah, because
He's still shaking it off.
Kleist is over at second base now, so I don't think it hit the bat. And they're keeping him at second, it looks like.
So
Yeah, if that's a foul ball, the runner's got to go back.
huh?
So is that a foul ball, or
Was that somehow in the zone? It got past Owens. What in the? So it's a strike. Kleist moves up to second. Now it's a 1-1 count.
I mean,
So
I can't imagine Dom Owens just missing.
We'll
I mean,
record that as a passed ball because that's the only possible explanation.
and that takes away a double play and puts a runner in scoring position. Now Conley got a zone in here and tireless batter.
1-2 count on Smith. Means you get a strike out of it. Connolly checking over to second, fires. And that's going to be fouled off again. They're tracking Connolly just enough to make contact throughout the at-bat.
Yeah, I mean Conley getting in these good counts, but not been able to put away these two hitters, put away these two central.
That's into center field again. Another knock. Kleist. They're going to hold him at third. Back-to-back single to start the top of the ninth. It puts runners at the corners for the top of the order.
Yeah, I'm just not able to put away Smith and Kleist. Two good at-bats there.
Going to bring Yuki Yamada up to the plate.
Shortstop number 11, Yuki Yamada.
Yamada 0 for 2 on the day. He's reached base his last 3 plate appearances, a hit by pitch, and then 2 walks. Smith going for second. That's chopped foul. Smith looking to be very aggressive with his leads right now. And got a good reason to be confident with that. Mahler won't be at too much of a disadvantage. I mean, you take hard throws down at home all the time. But you still have not a first baseman covering first base.
Yeah.
That pitch off the plate, ball 1. It's a 1-1 on Yamada. And here's the 1-1 pitch. Throw down over to first. And they tag Smith. That's not something you see too often. Mahler getting coached on how to play first base at mid-game. After Smith's first steal attempt, the coaching staff coaching Mahler, telling him, in this situation, you get back on the bag. You stay there. You cover off the runner. Now Smith going for second again. And nobody covering. Stolen base for Smith. Again, catching the Cougars' defense sleeping. I mean, the runner, the second baseman or shortstop would pretty much have to run just as fast as Smith.
Yeah.
Starting from the same spot. Just to even get there in time. 2-2 count now on Yamada.
And for the first time in this game, it's been the two-strike approach.
A 2-2. Swing and a miss. He gets Yamada going. Connolly picks up his first K of the day. So with two men on second and third, it'll bring Luke Wallace up to the plate with one out.
Center fielder number 4, Luke Wallace.
We've seen Connolly work out of jams like this before. Wallace lifting that into short right field. Zagerman charging almost onto the dirt. The wind, I think that's partially the wind. I think that's Zagerman was able to track it the best. I mean, the outfield's also playing very in right now. But, wow. Here they had right fielder making a play in the infield. So they're going to walk Bland intentionally. Not a bad call.
Yeah, I don't hate that call here.
Bland, he's 1 for 4 on the day, but on the year he has been the most lethal threat at the plate. Doesn't get much easier with Parker Wyatt, but it does put a force at every base.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue it makes it a little bit harder, but then again, force at every base is huge.
Wyatt lifting it to center. Defense tracking Beckert, makes the play. Connolly gets himself in a jam, and he gets out of it. 2 on, next 3 out. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Cougars, 3 more outs to claw back 1 run when we come back. And we're back. Bottom of the 9th, Cougars trailing by 1. They got one last chance to get back into it, and they got the top of the order to do it with Cam Buckley leading things off for the Cougs. Got Parker Eichhorst on the mound for his second inning of work.
Yeah, and like we talked about, the freshman Eichhorst going up against the top of the order, which is scary. And, I mean, Cougars, you got to imagine that they're in the favorable position despite being down 1.
Starting off the at-bat against Bucky with a 2-0 count. You got Ryan Gertis up and working in the pen if they decide that Eichhorst gets a bit scary. Eichhorst gave up a run in the bottom of the 8th. He's got a 2-0 count on Buckley. Make it 3-0. That one fired low, and Eichhorst did struggle with the control in the bottom of the 8th. Owens able to score after moving from first to third on a pair of wild pitches. The 3-0. That's just fired in for a strike.
Yeah, and I like that take there from Cam Buckley.
Yeah, no point in rushing, forcing something to
Yeah.
happen.
I mean, a base runner here is huge, and just the amount of pressure put on the inexperienced freshman.
Yeah, you got next 3 batters make contact better than anybody in your lineup.
What I talk about with the inconsistency from behind the plate. That ball was out.
That fills it up 3-2 on Buckley. Bat still hasn't left his shoulder. The payoff pitch. Gonna rip that down the first baseline. Gloved by Diaz, flipping to Eichhorst for out number 1. There's one down. That'll bring Brendan Holloway up to the plate. You got Holloway at the plate, Jake Mahler on deck, Brandon Mahler in the hole. Holloway 2 for 4 on the day. Grounded out first his last time up. He's got a pair of singles. Takes that first pitch fired in for a strike. Eichhorst suddenly getting into a groove. Here's the 0-1. Holloway, short chopper over towards Smith, fielding, gloving, chucking over to first. Off the bag, but they're able to apply the tag for out number 2.
Wow, I'm really impressed by Eichhorst in this inning. Started off 3-0 versus Cam Buckley, and since then it's just been great command. 2 weak balls there.
Down to their last out. It's Jake Mahler at the plate. Mahler, he's reached base in all of his at-bats, 2 for 2 with a pair of walks. Takes that first pitch, fired in for another strike. 0-1 count on Mahler. Eichhorst kicks and fires. And there's that lack of control we saw on the bottom of the 8th. Eichhorst finally loses that streak of strikes. It's in the dirt.
Yeah, it seems like when Eichhorst misses, he misses.
1-1 count on Mahler. Eichhorst, he'll set and fire. That one well outside again, 2-1 count. And Mahler, and every player who's been at the plate in this inning has represented the tying run. Here's the 2-1. Mahler thought about it, holds up, and he goes 3-1 count.
Yeah, Mahler looking to be aggressive there, but too low to even try to offer at it.
Here's the 3-1. Mahler, chops it to the mound. Eichhorst gloving over to first. That'll do it. 3 up, 3 down to end the game. Parker Eichhorst, a 2-inning save. And North Central comes into River Forest and wins it 5-4. North Central, they move up to 18-16 on the year. The Cougars dropped to 17-16 after the non-con loss. Cardinals 5 runs on 8 hits. Cougars 4 on 8. 17 left on base for North Central, 8 for the Cougars.
8 left on base. The winning pitcher is Beers, now 1-0.
And North Central, a lot of impressive performances on the mound from their young pitchers. The Cougars offense just not able to get things going.
With save number 1. Time of the game, 2 hours.
Cam Buckley ending up 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. Mahler 2 for 3 with a pair of
Ladies
singles.
and gentlemen, as you leave the facility, please check around your
Over on
seating
North
area.
Central's
Make sure
side
you
of
have
things,
a personal
Caleb Coberly, 2 for 4, a walk and 2 RBIs. Those representing the winning runs as North Central picks up the win 5-4. Sam, who's your player of the day for North Central?
I'm going with Parker Eichhorst. Coming into the game, no runs, and top of the order, 3-0 count to Cam Buckley. Cam Buckley on base machine gets out of that and then forces 3 weak ground balls, 2-out save. I was very impressed by Eichhorst today. I'm going to give it to him.
Now that'll do it here in River Forest. Cougars fall to North Central in their final non-conference game of the year, 5-4. The Cardinals come in and pick up the win. North Central continues their late season non-con trip through the NAC. They take on MSOE next. Cougars, they head back into conference play. Got a couple days off, and then they're back in action against the Wisconsin Lutheran College Warriors this weekend as they head up to Wisconsin for their second to last road trip. After that, they'll come back home for their final home games of the year, a doubleheader against the conference-leading MSOE Raiders. That'll be here on the Cougar Sports Network. Cougars lose today 5-4 to the North Central Cardinals and their final non-conference match of the season. Thank you for everyone who made today's broadcast possible. I'm Jonathan Shear. Joining me today was Sam Smith. We're the Cougar Sports Network. Thank you for joining us, and as always, roll Cougs.
Much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.